You're, I hope Greg, I hope that's you. Okay. I hope you are that one view because I need tech help. I need some tech help. In any event, all right. So the appeals court has made a decision. Okay. Appeals court has made a decision. Uh, Prior to this decision, we were, our narrative was that Nathan Wade's penis almost ruined Fani Willis' career. After this decision, it is guaranteed that the mixing of the genitals was not good for Fani Willis. Okay, so we have the decision. We're gonna go over. All right, real thing. I need tech help. Can you help me? Can you help me? I'm trying. I know you think I know how to work YouTube, but I actually don't. Uh, I need tech help. How familiar are you with YouTube? Because Flesh of the Gods wants me to send him. I'm supposed to invite him on my channel. There's an invite. I'm not gonna call it a toggle, but I have the option of inviting. I want to click it, but also, okay, if something disconnects, it's because I clicked. Okay, nothing happened. So it says invite guests to the studio. Okay. Uh, yeah, the mixing of the genitals was not good for Funny. So I just, I don't know how to invite him to my studio. Oh, but then maybe it's because I'm on StreamYard. I'm on StreamYard. Is he on StreamYard or is he on YouTube? I really don't know. But I cannot figure out how to invite him to my channel. So we'll just, I guess we'll leave it there. Hopefully by the time that we're done here, he is still live. No, I still have to iron. I have to iron. In any event, let's get into things. We are starting off on a lighter note. You guys know that I have my deposition, right? I had my deposition. And let me find. I have too many open tabs. I always have way too many open tabs because that's just how I roll. But let's share this. The one thing I'm very glad, I'm glad that my client is not Kanye West. All right, I am glad that my client is not Kanye West. Let's quickly get into this. I love laughing, so let's.
It's like it's like
Okay, so this is Kanye West talking about. This is Kanye West talking about being sued. Okay.
it's like it's like I almost borderline like being sued because it's the only time where I can be myself because I sit in those depositions and it'd be hilarious. I remember I was in a deposition with Suge Knight and I had my hands on my face like this, right? And the lawyer was sitting, Suge sitting right there, and Suge's lawyer sitting next to me. He said, can you take your hands off your face? No, I said, take your hands off your face. I looked at him and said, he said, take your hands off your face. I said, look, sir, you're going to have to ask me nicely to take my hands off my face. Please talk to me with some type of respect. And he says, okay, Mr. West, can you please take your hands off your face? And I said, no.
I know. Kanye is something else, but I'm glad that I was not representing Kanye West today. This is from, I believe, yesterday. It's from yesterday. I did not.
Yeah. It's your boy Nas God. I'm back.
Yesterday, no.
Yo, did you
Anyways,
guys see Kanye
there's
West?
been some, there's been a video circulating of Kanye West being deposed. It resurfaced. Oh, is it this? I don't have time to go through all of TMZ though, so probably not. Is it? I don't know. He was deposed. He was being deposed, and he was just being himself. Hopefully, I'll find that later on. But other than that, other folks would say it went great. For me, I like to, err on the side of caution, so I'm gonna say it went good. Okay, let's get into, and I'm still kind of puzzled. I still do not understand why. I don't understand why they sent a partner to this deposition, because the policy limits for this case $100,000. In the world of insurance, that is not money. Okay, I'm still kind of puzzled, but he was fantastic. The attorney was brilliant. Obviously, I'm always copying people's stuff. So I borrowed a few questions. I'm borrowing 2 or 3 questions from him. And then let's see. Real Thing says, for real, did you know the Georgia appeals decision was coming soon? I suspected it was on the way, and that's why I had started out on the series about not mixing genitals. Okay. All right. Let's carry on though. Let's get back into, genital mixing. Let us carry. I'm still really, really, really disappointed in Fani's conduct. It's very puzzling. I don't know. But then again, Fulton County is a very puzzling place. As I have maintained, I have not seen attorneys with the exception of Meg Shard. Meg Shard, to me, he's the standout in this entire trial. I think Abate is also fine. Let's see. I'm trying to go down the line. But overall, I've not seen attorneys behave in the manner that, the folks in Fulton County have behaved. So that's a little, I don't know. I don't know what they have going on. So let me share my screen. I need to find the right, let me find the right screen. I'm about to sneeze. I'm about to sneeze. I'm about to sneeze. All right, let's go in here. We're going to go in here, and then we're going to talk about the decision a little bit. But obviously, we had not finished talking about Fani Willis' very puzzling testimony. I still want to get to her father, though. Let's see how we do on. Let's see how we do on time. Let's see how we do on time. And then I wanted to recap that bail bond application. Let's see. Do we get into that first or no? All right, let's probably first get into that. Let's get into that. Oh, shout out to Old Bag. A big shout out to Old Bag. I need to share a different screen. Hold on. I'm not done with this one, but that's fine. Not done with that screen, but that's fine. So we're just going to go back. As I said, who's this? Yeah, the deposition that I had today, it went as good as it could go. My client was not Kanye West, so that was good. But as far as what is this? Because even after my deposition, it ended, right? I was still thinking about the defense attorney. I was thinking about his questions. Obviously, I was taking notes during the deposition. I was thinking about his questions, and a lot of them were actually really, really, really intelligent. So I'm still on the fence. I'm trying to figure out, are there tricks here? Why did they send this man? And when I was taking a shower after work today, I was just, again, going over, reflecting. And then typically the defending attorney does not, let me explain this. So in a deposition, there's a defending attorney and there's a deposing attorney. The deposing attorney is, let me not say obviously, under these circumstances, I am the defending attorney, okay? Because it's my client that was being deposed. So the partner is the deposing attorney because he is the one that's actually deposing my client, okay? So as I was just reflecting on the deposition today, typically it is rare for the defending attorney to ask questions of their own client because this is part of discovery. It is a fact-finding process, and the other side is really just trying to learn more about our case beyond what's in the interrogatories, beyond what's in the medical records. So under normal circumstances, a defending attorney does not ask questions of their own client unless they're really messing up, okay? So as I was taking a shower today and I was reflecting, I know Brooklyn said he'd like to be up here, so I'll put the link in here. And no, it was not medical malpractice. It is a car crash. So as I was reflecting today, I was thinking of, there's actually one question I should have asked my client. Not that it makes much of a difference because again, my client was not Kanye West, so I I was covered as far as those bases are concerned. But this is just to go back on my critique of attorneys because I think people can always do better, and my position remains the same. That was a disappointing a bond hearing to me. It was not even a real argument. But what I want to highlight here, I've done this before when I've gone to the comments and read some of the comments. So I'm gonna start with our one and only Old Bag, okay? So Old Bag says, I need my glasses, but I'll try. Oldback said I missed this live. SO watches trials like a sporting event. Everyone else is watching to cheer on their family members. They only see the family member and their love for them. They don't see the way they play. SO is refing the game, unbiased, and to critique the mechanics of the sport. She isn't an invested family member. So that's exactly, she captures that well. And then we also have a comment here from Cali Girl, and she says, I think co-counsel is so heavily invested. I hope my video does not get, I hope my stream doesn't get struck down because my kid is watching. She's like listening to, she's really supposed to be asleep, okay? But she is playing Kids Bob. I don't know. Can you guys hear Kids Bob? She's supposed to be asleep. I don't know why she's not asleep. But Zeta, please close the door. So Callie here says, I think co-counsel is too heavily invested. Folks saying it wasn't a good argument in no way equates to folks saying Ms. Bumpus is a bad lawyer. There's always space to improve and learn. I think the levels of being familiar between the lawyer and defendant, as well as lawyer and judge, may have impacted the manner in which the argument was delivered by Ms. Bumpus. So that's, those are the two things that I wanted to highlight again. And I maintain I have no dog in this fight. I watch for, different reasons. But let's quickly get back into the genital mixing, though. We need to touch base on the genital mixing. I need to find that again. Hold on. All right, hold on. Hold on, folks. I'm parenting. There you go. All right, close that door, please, and I need you to go to bed. No, don't fill it up. That's good. Thank you. Please, she's drinking some water. It's hard to get these little people to drink water sometimes, but maybe that's just an excuse because she doesn't want to go to bed. So she had a reason to come out here. All right, so let's go here. Yeah, Jerome, I cannot figure out the whole link thing. I was trying to employ Real Thing to help me. I put my invite in a Flesh of the Gods chat. I don't know how to invite him. The Zoom link is not working for me, so I figured I'd just get started because I'm punctual. I hate being late. But okay, so let's get back into this. And we know she did it 50 big, okay? She did it 50 big.
2020 was before I knew.
All right, let's go. And then we're going to reserve some time just to talk about, the appeals court decision. But even before we get into that, I foresee that Fani is going to appeal, okay? She's going to appeal. From my perspective, okay, I don't really have, that's the puzzling thing. I don't know how or why Fani thought she could get away with this. I just don't understand it because, okay, who's this? Judge McAfee made his decision. And I was going to look up McAfee quickly because if I remember correctly, I think that McAfee is part of the Federalist Society, okay? Brooklyn, what do you mean Zoom voice? I don't know what Zoom voice is. I've been on Zooms before, but when that has worked for me, I click on the link and I just get admitted, or there's a user code or whatever and a password. That's probably not what they're called, or meeting ID or something, and I've entered that. This time around, I really could not. Every time I clicked on it, it just said something, which is weird because I have been able to get, or at least one time, I got on Flesh of the Gods Zoom link. So this time around, I don't know what's going on, but it's not working. Okay, so Brooklyn says StreamYard doesn't work on Safari. I'm not using Safari. I'm using Google Chrome. So yeah. In any event, let me play this video, but I want to take a deeper dive into Judge Scott McAfee, okay? Because I'm going to contrast that to the decision from the Court of Appeals.
Let me help you out.
Let's go to the question.
Oh,
And I wanted to touch a little bit on so Brooklyn is saying that he's using Safari and StreamYard does not work. So what's the solution? Because I don't as you can tell, I need a lot of tech help. So what is the solution to that? How do we I can send the invite. I have an invite here. Hopefully this invite does something. I have an invite. Is it the same invite? I'm not sure. Let me compare them. Is that the same invite? It probably is the same invite. That looks like the same invite. So, well, I don't know, Brooklyn. I don't know. I can call you on your cell and I guess you can talk through my mic. I don't know. That's another option because that would seem like we're together, right? So that's an option. Tell me if you want me to do that.
19, he's never been to your residence, any place.
So,
I lived in my home in South Fulton before I started getting the threats that were here, a house I paid for with my own sweat and tears. I'm no longer able to live there. But in 2019, I did. And in the 2 months of 2019.
Here's what was really impressive. I remember I actually looked him up before. Here's what was impressive about Judge McAfee. The fact that he was actually incredibly young. Okay. He's around 35, 36. Okay. I mean, this is a trial court. But typically, again, it just depends. It depends on it depends on the geographical location. But in the jurisdictions that I've practiced, it takes some time for you to actually end up on the bench, right? It takes some time for you to end up on the bench. So I thought that the fact that, he's around 35, 36 and he was on the bench, I found that to be pretty intriguing, right? And then let's see. I just wanted to see his political leanings. That's what I was interested in. But let me play this, and then I'm going to try and get Brooklyn on here. So I first have to find Brooklyn's phone number.
That I knew Mr. Wade 3 months, the beginning of October, all of November, and all of December. Mr. Wade never came to my house in South Fulton. Let me help you out. I lived there in 2020. He never came to my house in 2020, let alone live with me, as you put falsely in these documents. In the first 3 months of 2021, when I could still enjoy my home, Mr. Wade never came to South Fulton, and it is certainly a lie that he lived with me.
Mm.
So in 2020, so you said 2019, 2020, did Mr. Wade ever visit you at a place that you
He
resided?
has never been to my home in South Fulton. 2020 was before I knew that a phone call was going to be made and I was going to have to abandon my home. As a result thereof, he never visited, lived at, came to, or has seen South Fulton.
You qualified that with your home in South Fulton.
Right.
That's where I lived in
In
2020.
20, did he ever visit?
What happened?
In South Fulton. 2020 was before I knew that a phone call was going to be made and I was going to have to abandon my home. As a result thereof, he never visited, lived at, came to, or has seen South Fulton.
You qualified that with your home in South Fulton.
That's where I lived in
In
2020.
20, did he ever visit you at a place that you resided?
Okay. I don't understand you about to get me out. In 2020, I lived in South Fulton.
Okay.
That's the only place I lived in South Fulton. That's before I had to abandon my home, Judge.
All right.
And at my home in
Let me
South
clarify
Fulton,
this. We'll break it down.
he never came there, okay? So if you don't come someplace, you can't live there.
Ms. Willis, I'm gonna have to caution you. This is gonna be my the first time out to caution him. We have to listen to the
Right.
questions as asked. And if this happens again and again, I'm going to have no choice but to strike your testimony. So we need to break this down. Ms. Merchant's question, I believe, was asking whether you lived anywhere other than South Fulton.
I did not live anywhere but South Fulton, Georgia in 2020. That is before I began my prosecution of this case, and it was my plan to only live there.
Did Mr. Wade ever visit you at the condo that you leased from Miss Yurdi?
He visited that condo, yes.
He did.
Yes.
Did he ever spend the night at that condo?
No.
Just visited.
Yeah, but he did visit for sure.
Did you ever go out to eat together, other than the lunches you talked about,
In
during
2020?
2019 or 2020?
I would think that we probably went to lunch, but it wouldn't
Hold
have
on,
been,
folks.
let me think, 2019. I'm going to say, I don't know. I'm going to say we probably broke bread someplace in 2019. I don't remember it, but it seems like we would have broke bread sometime in 2019. So I'm going to say yes, although I have no recollection. But it seems to me like I go out to eat and drink with pretty much everyone. So I'm going to say yes.
What is she
So
talking
outside
about?
of the vacations that we've already talked about, did you ever go out to dinner?
I
Let's keep
mentioned
doing
to
that.
you that
I'm going to object as to what time period. Like, we're asking very vague questions. I thought we were treating the witness as hostile under 611. We're no longer doing that. So we're going to go back and forth. We need to be more specific with our questions if we're going to treat her as hostile.
All right, Ms. Merchant, it's not so much. I think you can elect between leading and open-ended questions, but I think we are still wondering about, and I think we need to get back on track of focusing on the financial benefit or the relationship.
And my next question about if you did go out to dinner, who paid when you went out to dinner?
he paid, I paid.
You both paid.
Okay, so let me be real clear. We didn't
Just
say,
answer
oh,
the
the bill is
question.
$102. You give $51, I'll give $51. I don't operate like that with my girlfriends. I don't operate like that with anyone. He caught the bill, I caught the bill. Whomever.
Did you ever pay him through Cash App?
No.
You only ever paid him through cash.
Well, yes. What we're talking about, I'm very confused.
You've never
now. Like,
given Mr. Wade money through Cash App.
no,
The only money you've ever given him outside of a contract is cash.
I didn't give him money in a contract, so that was cute. But I didn't give him money outside in a contract.
That is
What happened is,
so
no, we're gonna answer it since you
unnecessary.
said it. He worked. He
That
worked
is
more hours than he was
unnecessary.
paid, and the county paid him for the work that he did. So don't be cute with me and then think that you're not going to get an answer.
Girl, hold on. Wait. What? Oh no,
Contract. What happened is, no, we're gonna answer it since you said it. He worked more hours than he was paid, and the county paid him for the work that he did. So don't be cute with me and then think that you're not going to get an answer.
That's
And
crazy.
I will ask you about the contract in a minute. I asked you about cash. Did you ever pay him anything? And I'm trying to qualify my questions. I'm not talking about the contract with Fulton County that was paid. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about outside of that. Did you ever pay him anything other than cash?
I've only given him cash a few times in the course of what we're talking about.
So you've
If
never
we would go to dinner,
Let her finish her answer.
if we would go to dinner, I wouldn't give him cash because he paid for dinner or I paid for dinner. I've given him cash only a few times in life, probably 4.
Okay.
Probably the most money I've ever handed him is $2,500. The least amount of money I've handed him, probably $2,500.
Hello?
Hello. Sorry.
Hi, Brooklyn. Is this you?
Yes, it's me.
Oh, what's up?
Sorry.
Oh, let me see. So Brooklyn says, emailed you my number, can't do it on Safari. Okay, I came across your number. I definitely found your number.
I just emailed it to you.
What's that?
I just emailed that to you.
Yeah, but you had sent me a prior email, so I had to dig that up. Yeah, I had to dig that up. So what I'm trying to figure out, what did you want to talk? I don't know. Hopefully, folks can still hear you. I don't know.
You hear me or not?
No, I can hear you. I just hopefully, the folks on the other side can hear you. So,
Okay.
yeah.
No, you just said about Jasmine. You felt bad for her.
No, I just what is this? I did not appreciate how she came at you, and that bothered me all day. I mean, it bothered me last night as well, but it bothered me the whole day, the entire day, just because that is not my platform. Okay, on my platform, I do not malign people, and that's why, even when people were coming for Kayla, that's not the approach that I took, because that's just not what my platform is about. But I mean, it did bother me. um it bothered me the whole day. But if you're saying that you're fine, then I am going to accept that. But I know I apologize via email, but I just wanted to apologize again, because that happened to you on my platform, and I obviously don't approve. um I just don't approve the way that she came at you. And again, it saddened me, and I thought about you the entire day. But if you say that you're okay, then I'll take your word for it.
You know how they have a handle? People have a handle. If anybody types in the word Brooklyn and they send it or print in the comments, it comes up as me. So she can go on many sites, on many channels, and people will think it's the same Brooklyn.
Okay.
And I've seen many people have Brooklyn and it comes up on me red, but I can see they have a dot or one or number two.
Yeah.
So I don't know what her relationship with Caleb Bumpus is, but I think she's very young, because Jasmine is very young.
No, she's about 41. So
Okay.
yeah.
And we're here for the same purpose. No one is coming here to get the news. Everybody's coming here for the entertainment.
Yeah.
And we're not here for Fox News or CNN News. It's just a funny, the comic relief for it.
Right. Yeah. But how are you, though? Are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? Did it bother you? Not really?
No, I didn't think about it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's
So,
good to hear. But
that case that you were talking about, that is not a medical malpractice?
No. This is a car crash. It was a car crash. Or it is a car crash. Yeah. But I mean,
My father passed away like 7 years.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he had a stent done in his heart
Yeah.
in Mount Sinai Hospital. And they messed up. They botched him up. They gave him too many blood thinners.
Yeah.
And all the blood from his body went down to his foot.
I know.
So there was a big malpractice. So it means
Right.
everybody wanted to settle, but they're still fighting over it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The insurance company is saying that it's the doctor. One of them is saying it's the hospital. One of them is saying it's the doctor's fault. But they go to doctors and they leave samples by the doctor.
Right.
So they had a serial number, and they were able to trace it back. Who's that salesperson that came into the doctor?
Yeah.
And who gave him the extra pills? But normally the way it works is you get 30%, and they take 30% cut.
Right.
On the top of it.
Right.
But $100,000 case I think it's very little.
Yeah. I mean, it is, but I'm not gonna get into it. It's just it's personal injury, but typically, because obviously malpractice is different in the sense that even though their policy limits tend to be higher. Whereas for car crash, it's just based on what, it depends on the defendant's policy. Some folks only have 25,000. Other people don't even have insurance. Some folks have, 100,000, and it goes up. But I think most people probably have 25, because most people just don't want to pay for insurance.
In New York, you have to have 100, 300.
Is it 100? I thought the minimum for New York was 25.
The minimum is 100,000?
No, I'm pretty sure a minimum for New York is 25. I'll look it up right now. I would like to believe it's 25. Because that's typically the minimum for Most you guys know we're talking about insurance now. Give us a second. So policy limits minimum New York. New York. Hold on, New York State. Let's see. Yeah, the minimum is 25 per person.
I thought the minimum was 100.
No.
You don't
It's
have them unless maybe you have a private car that's not financed or leased by the
no for
manufacturer.
minimum across the board is 25. That's the least amount of insurance that an individual can have on their vehicle. So yeah, I remember it being 25. I just wasn't sure, but yeah.
Yesterday you were talking about what happened to Kimante Kendrick.
I was
I
focused
kept
more
on saying
really.
that it's not her fault. It's not Kayla's fault.
My focus was on the argument, whether whoever's fault it is, that has nothing to do with me. But my position remains, she did not put on, for somebody to be regarded as the bail bond queen or whatever she goes by, that was a non-argument. That was very weak. It was unimpressive. So
It's not that you didn't know.
no,
It was just signed off yesterday.
to me that doesn't matter because I
It's
was
not.
doing my no, it doesn't matter because I was doing my commentary as she was speaking. And for bail bond, you have to have an application, especially if it's your application. And my commentary started way before Judge, it's not McAfee, what's his name? Judge McBurney mentioned a bond. So, from the point of being an advocate, it absolutely matters what you say to the court. It's not a question of fault because even who's this? What's his name? Doug Weinstein. I critiqued Doug Weinstein throughout the trial, even though I foresaw the possibility that what's his name? What's his name? I forgot.
Which one?
Yak, even though I foresaw the possibility that Yak was going to be acquitted, and I've maintained that. I maintained that I was not worried about Yak being convicted, but that did not stop me from critiquing Doug Weinstein. I mean, he sucked, and even without knowing that he had never had a criminal trial before. To me, as somebody that has practiced in criminal courts and has had many trials, it was pretty obvious that he didn't know what he was doing. So to me, it's the argument part. It's not.
I don't think he was hired for the case. I think Jay Abad
Say that again.
was hired. Jay Abad, the other partner that looks like him.
Yeah, that
he
looks
was
like
the guy
him.
that was signed for this case.
Yeah,
And Doug was working for him.
right. That's my understanding as well. But that does not change the fact that he is not skilled when it comes to criminal trials. It was pretty obvious. Jerome says Doug's my guy. I know that, Jerome. But I have Jerome. I have Brooklyn on the phone. Apparently, Brooklyn and I are on a first name basis now. So yeah, I have Brooklyn on the phone. I could not, or he could not come up on the live. I don't know how or whatnot, but I don't know, computer problems. So yeah, I mean, to me, it was still obvious that he was not a skilled trial lawyer. So let's see. Real Thing says, by the way, in case you didn't mention it, Judge McAfee was appointed by Governor Brian Kemp in 2023 as the youngest judge in Atlanta. He had only been a judge for 1 year during this hearing. Right. That is correct. And that's what I wanted to, Real Thing, that's what I wanted to look up. I wanted to look up his leanings because I was under the impression that he's probably Republican.
He's the governor. He's the Republican.
No. I'm talking about Judge McAfee, Scott McAfee, the guy that, not the guy, the judge that presided over.
Kemp is the only one that can fire Fani.
What's that?
The governor is the only one that can take away her seat, Fani's seat.
No, what I was talking about was Judge McAfee, who presided, because the argument that it's not really an argument. The point that I wanted to make is that as a Democrat, which Fani Willis is, I do not understand why she was behaving in the manner that she was behaving. And the reason for that is because obviously with this case, she was, it doesn't matter. She in this case, she was before Judge McAfee, right? Who obviously now we know he was appointed by a Republican governor. Okay. That's
Scott McAfee.
right, Scott McAfee, which is okay.
He's 36 years old.
Hold on, Brooklyn. My point is that when the case gets appealed, it's obvious that she had no avenue, she had no way of having things go her way. When it comes to law, right, and when it comes to precedent and stare decisis, there's always an argument. This goes all the way back to legal philosophy. There's an argument whether judges make law or whether judges follow the law. Under most circumstances, especially if if a judge is a textualist, usually they follow the law if the law is in their favor. But obviously, we've seen judges make law, especially when it came to the immunity decision that the Supreme Court handed down. They went out and created things that don't even exist in order to save Donald Trump's behind. So here's my thing. If Fani is very well aware of the composition or the makeup of the Court of Appeals, and she is aware of the makeup of the Georgia Supreme Court, and obviously she's aware of the makeup of the United States Supreme Court, it baffles me. It baffles me why she would behave in the manner that she behaved and take such an enormous risk. Okay, take such an enormous risk, knowing that she would not have an outlet at any appeals court. So that is part of I don't know.
What happened is the first she brought the case against the election interference, and 2 people took a plea bargain right away.
Right, but they were also.
The case closed.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We thought that she has the case closed, that she's getting the verdict. So that's when she started arresting everybody, and
not even everybody else. No. Everybody was already indicted at the time when the attorney out of Texas, I forgot where the other guy's from, but everybody was already indicted. The reason why they ended up taking guilty pleas is because they rushed the prosecution. They asked for speedy trial because they were of the opinion that the prosecution was not ready, and they were wrong. Because once they asked for speedy trial, Judge McAfee gave them, he basically signaled that this case was ready to go to trial. And because obviously the mountain of evidence that they were up against, they had no choice under those circumstances but to enter into guilty pleas. And honestly, it was a bad move on their part, because typically from a defense perspective, okay? From a defense perspective, you want to delay as much as you can. You don't want to actually go to trial, because when you go to trial, D-Day becomes imminent. So that was a bad move on their part, because again, the 2 defendants, yeah, they were bluffing. And they were bluffing, and Fani's office called their bluff. And once Fani called their bluff, they had no choice but to enter guilty pleas. So those were bad moves on their part. But to me, again, it is puzzling why Fani would behave in the manner that she would behave, because when you occupy an office.
What do you mean? How she behaved?
Nobody, no political. Can you say that again, please?
How she behaved with Nathan Wade?
Exactly. To me, because I've always maintained, if Fani Willis wanted to sleep with this guy, she should have gone ahead. By all means, sleep with a guy. But you cannot sleep with a guy and then hire him. What's that?
And take $700,000.
Exactly. And the other thing is that Nathan Wade is not even experienced in the charges that they leveraged against Donald Trump and all these defendants. So it made no sense. It made no sense. And here's the other thing. So I'm trying to figure out now. This is me speculating, okay? Just as I'm speaking, I'm speculating. Did she then? I guess there's a possibility that she wanted to mix genitals with this man, but I guess the man probably was not interested, and she used her office and offered him a job in order for the mixing of genitals to actually occur. But other than that, I am just confused as to why she'd behave in this way. And again, from my own experience, okay, even when it comes to simple things, but I am a cautious person. That's just me. I cross my T's and I dot my I's. When it comes to regular tasks, okay, something such as timekeeping, I am very well aware, because when people are billing for attorneys that have billable hours,
That's the hardest thing.
people can get carried away and enter hours you didn't work. I know not to do that because I'm crossing my T's and dotting my I's, and that is fraud. So
How do you do that?
what's that?
How do you do that?
I just don't enter
That's the hardest
inaccurate.
thing.
I don't
How
enter
do you
in.
divide-
No, I
how
don't
do you
enter.
divide-
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
How do you divide the hourly fee into 10 minutes slots?
No, mine is actually in 6-minute increments.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's in 6-minute increments. And I just keep a timesheet, literally. I keep a timesheet from the time that I sit down. If I'm reading emails, I say from this time to this time. And I just keep time. Everybody in my office knows to keep time. But what I'm getting at is with Fani, it makes no sense. I'm not even going to say that she was reckless. It makes no sense that she was so, what is this? That she behaved in the manner that she did openly, okay? Because here's the reality about being in politics. When you are in politics, folks are going to come at you at every angle, okay? Yesterday, or was it this morning? I think it was last night. I was listening to real thing. I'll read your messages now. I was listening to, it was some news outlet. I forgot. I remember what the guy looks like. I don't remember his name. But I was listening to a news outlet, and let me actually find his name. Let me find his name. Because this was about Kennedy, one of Trump's appointed people. What is that, guys? Shout out to LSU. LSU's playing
Robert
tonight.
Kennedy Jr.
Right. But I need to find the news outlet. And I'm gonna have to plug you up right now because my my phone is gonna go off in probably 20 minutes. What was the guy's name? What was the guy's name?
What was the story about?
It was about how they work. Let me just focus on the story. That's better. So obviously, Robert J.F. Kennedy, or whatever his name is, he got into politics. And then it was revealed that he actually had a heroin addiction for a number of years. Because I've listened to him before, and I'm like, I don't know. There's something about his voice. I was like, there's something about his voice. But anyways, when I was listening to this news coverage last night, it was revealed that he struggled with a heroin addiction for a number of years. And then it was later revealed that he benefited from nepotism. He ended up in the Manhattan district attorney's office through, connections from, his uncle or somebody in his bloodline. And then it was there at the district attorney's office where he continued to, struggle with drug addiction, and eventually he caught some charges, right? So under those circumstances, for as long as you are in politics, your life will always be under a microscope. So I do not understand why Fani thought that she could get away with this type of behavior, where she could get away with this type of conduct. So that was puzzling to me. But let me see what.
It doesn't seem that it was the biggest secret in town.
it's still, I think it was. I think it was because we're going to have to play the video where she was up on the pulpit and was basically trying to, she was lying. She got up on the pulpit and she tried to lie about the nature of her relationship with Nathan Wade. So I don't think that it was an open relationship. And obviously, this guy was, at least at the time, he must have been going through divorce proceedings.
He was.
Yeah, so there's no way it was out in the open, because if we go back to, some of this questioning by Ashley Merchant, she had pulled out his interrogatories where there was a question about whether they were, I think one of the questions was whether he was engaged in any type of, sexual contact, or if he had sexual contact with anybody during this time. And he obviously lied about it because his response was no.
But the court doesn't care if you have a relationship or not. I
This
think the only
is-
thing that he did is
Go
that
ahead.
he lied in the financial affidavit.
No, exactly. The question then, no, it does matter. The court, the appeals court. Let me pull up. Scott McAfee did not care about it, but the Supreme Court, not the Supreme Court, the appeals court differs. Let me find. I had that pulled up here. Hold on. Let me find that decision. Here's the decision. But let me quickly respond to Real Thing. So Real Thing says, by the way, okay, I read that. And then she says, I know I mentioned this before, but Judge McAfee was a former Fulton County prosecutor for many years, and Fani was his supervisor. Okay, there we have Jerome. And then Jerome says, I realize that Fani really doesn't have a boss. She is the top official, not in terms of the entire county, but she is the district attorney. Everybody else around her or below her is an assistant. And then Real Thing says, when you have time to watch WTF Wednesday Christmas Party, Doug talks about his examination skills, and he states everything you have been saying all this time. I know you don't need validation, but well, thank you. Thank you, Real Thing. Like, and that's what I keep saying.
I don't know if you picked up on it,
Yeah,
but I know from the cases that I've worked in the past,
yeah.
it seems that Yagad is not standing financially stable at the moment.
I don't know. Can you guys hear? Because I think I have my mic on the max and I have Brooklyn on the speaker. But Real Thing, tell me, can you hear Brooklyn or no? Because I don't see my mic moving when he's talking. So yeah. As far as Gotti, I don't know how much money these folks have. Again, my criticisms, if you listen to me, my criticisms. What's that?
The only criticism that I have is first that Kayla asked for a $20,000 bond. It means that he only has to put down $2,000.
Okay.
And the second problem that I have with Doug is that he didn't go all the way for his client. Let's say he owes him a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm billing, and he wasn't paid like in a year or two. Max was probably in the same situation. I don't know whether people get paid.
No, these are flat fees. There's no criminal attorney that is going to do this hourly. These are flat fees.
I know. It can be a flat fee. Once you get into this mess, you don't know. You didn't expect it to last for 2 years.
No, this is a flat fee. I'm telling you now, Brooklyn, this is a flat fee. I'm telling you.
Do you negotiate every 2 months?
You don't negotiate anything. This is a flat fee. Whether you get convicted.
Normally, a trial lasts 2 weeks, 4 weeks.
It doesn't matter, but that's the nature of the flat fee. I'm pretty sure that there are some attorneys in this trial that, took on this task for the sake, let me not say for the sake, but in hopes of garnering publicity. But this is, I'm telling you, I'm willing to die on that hill. This is a flat fee. There is no way that they're going to bill this hourly. That's not how it works in
You have to.
No, Brooklyn. No. That's not how it works in criminal cases. Okay, so Real Thing says that I need validation, and I'm actually gonna look it up right now. I'm gonna look it up, but again, I have when I come up here, I know what I'm talking about. If it was civil, because obviously in civil I'm still starting out, but I know the mechanics of how criminal courts work. What's up? What's up? What's up, Real Thing?
And so, can
What's
you hear
up?
me?
I can hear
Hey,
you.
once again, you don't need me to back you up or validate anything you're saying.
Okay.
You know exactly what you're talking about. Actually, Doug, he's done so many interviews. People have asked him about this, and he
Okay.
always states it's a flat fee. He charged a flat fee.
Okay.
And I just want to say that for the record.
Right.
Doug even said it out his mouth.
Right.
So far as
Why didn't
Hold
he
on,
take his
hold on,
customers?
Brooklyn. Hold on, Brooklyn. We're not gonna talk over each other. Go
I
ahead,
just
Real
have
Thing.
one more point. I'll
Yeah.
be very quick. Far as stating anything about Diamante not being financially sovereign,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that that's any of our business, but
Right.
to me, it's kind of obvious. First of all, he comes from what we would call humble beginnings.
Okay.
And yes, born in Miami, came, brought to Atlanta. He doesn't come from a lot of money. He's been in Fulton County Jail since May 9th, 2022, over
Mm-hmm.
2.5 years without the ability to earn any additional income since that time. And Doug Weinstein and the app law firm, whatever his name
Yeah.
is, they have been paid in full. That
Right.
was the bulk of the money.
Right.
He doesn't come from a lot of money. And
Yeah.
he's been in jail over 2.5 years without
Yeah.
ability to earn any additional money. Of course, he doesn't have a whole
Right.
lot of money right now.
Right.
And that's understandable.
Yeah.
When we heard about Kayla taking over,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she don't have to say anything to us, but I know that that's her friend. So,
Mm-hmm.
I could see her working something out with them and not necessarily charging her usual amount
Mm-hmm.
based on her friendship and her connection to this case.
Hold
And
on, Brooklyn.
that's all I wanted to say.
Okay. No, you do make valid points, and I mean we're gonna segue into Doug. I'm going to have to find the video. Do you know the timestamp? Probably not, right?
I usually have all my timestamps.
Oh,
I can look
really?
at I usually do.
Why?
Because I'm a weird person, as you
Oh,
can see.
okay.
I like all the details.
Okay. So yeah, if you can give me that timestamp, then I'll shift over to that video. And I mean, you do make a valid point. There's a possibility that Kayla could have given them a discount. But to me, whether you give them a discount or not, you need to come with a real argument. Brooklyn, did you have anything to add?
I wanted to talk about something else, but
What do you want to talk about?
no, other stuff. The only question that I have:
Alexa, stop. Sorry.
why didn't Doug go all the way with his client?
What do you mean by all the way? Clarify that.
Like Max appeared by his on the problems that he incurred during the jail.
I don't understand.
He didn't give him another. He pushed in not Ashley. What am I talking? Kayla for the last hearing.
He did what?
Can I explain?
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not cutting anyone off. I'm just trying to explain.
Okay.
What Brooklyn is saying is what many people have been saying. They are saying, well, Max has saw all of Shannon's charges all the way through to
Okay.
the end. And obviously they made the decision that was best for Shannon.
Right.
People want to know, why wasn't Doug there to argue the bond? Why didn't Doug stay with Diamante to see through his jail incident, alleged crimes, whatever the allegations that, or the
Mhm.
new charges that unfortunately have been alleged against him since being incarcerated? People feel like, well, Doug should have saw it all the way through. He should have requested bond. He should have been there 2 days ago requesting and arguing for bond for him, because they, I guess, believe that Doug would advocate for Diamante better. That's their
I don't
opinion,
know.
not mine. That's not
I
my
don't know
opinion.
about all that. I mean, maybe under these circumstances, because obviously, my point has always been that Doug has very limited knowledge of criminal procedure. So, I mean, granted that Kayla's argument was lacking, maybe Doug could have, done a better job. But even
She
that
did a very
said,
good job. Kayla did a very good job.
I don't know about all that. But I don't know about all that. But I mean, again,
That was signed yesterday. That was signed after the hearing. That's when the warrants were passed out.
yeah, I mean, I cannot say that Doug would have done a better job just based on what I've seen. But again, based on what I saw in what is that bail hearing, I cannot also say that Kayla could have done a better job representing him in an actual criminal trial, because to me there was no real argument there. And that, as far as why Doug did not represent him throughout, I would not know that, but there could be a number of factors, right? Typically, when somebody signs a retainer, it is for that specific case. Okay. In our office, we've had a workers' compensation client, and they signed a retainer, and that the retainer was specific. It is for that specific case. Down the line, they ended up in a car crash. They need an attorney. They came back, so they had to sign another retainer. And it also depends on how busy their law firm is, because obviously Doug has been involved in this trial for, an extended amount of time. He most likely has other clients that he needs to tend to. It
Yes,
just depends.
that's
So
what he said. Basically, he has other cases,
yeah,
and yeah, that was really the main reason. He has other cases he's tending to, and um, since you're talking about financials, Brooklyn, that may have played a factor in it too.
right,
As far as
right,
what was quoted to him from Doug versus Kayla. So,
yeah.
it just made sense.
Yeah, I was literally just about to get into that, because attorneys are not working for free, right? These folks, as I've maintained, when people are running, let me say it from this point. There was, I think this is under professional responsibility. I actually need to send my professor an email. There's always been a debate about whether law is a profession or whether it's a business. Um, my commitment, I've always been committed to public service. I've mentioned before, I'm a socialist. That's just how I chose to use my degree. Okay. So at the time, because I knew that I would be committed to, public service for the rest of my life, my argument was always no. Um, Law is a profession. This is a legal profession. It's not a business. I don't see how it can be a business. But once I transitioned from public service into private practice, I now understand that law, in fact, can be a business. And when you are running, right, when you're running a business, it makes sense for you to think about overheads. It makes sense for you to think about how you are going to compensate your legal assistants, your paralegals, and the like. So if the legal fee is not right, and Doug is part of a law firm that is obviously, that is responsible for taking care of a number of employees, it makes sense for him to go with somebody else.
You don't make so much money, by the way.
What's that?
And the attorneys, until you become a partner, it's very little money for what you put in the schools.
Probably depends on demographics, and it depends on location. But as far as criminal law, I guess some folks do make more money than the average person, but you never know. You never know. I try not to count other people's pockets. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I know the way it works by us. That you get
yeah.
the retainer fee depends if the person is incarcerated or not, and where the case is up to. So if the retainer is $7,500, then they leave a credit card on file. Every time it goes down to $2,000, they take out another $2,000 from the credit card.
I mean, it depends. Some attorneys, apparently, from what I'm understanding, there was an interesting what is this article that I read. There are attorneys out there that don't actually accept credit cards for some reason, but I don't work with the right, because we get paid by insurance companies, so we don't actually directly work with other people's money. And then Jerome's gonna come up here and explain why Doug played his role well. That's good. And then real thing, can you give me the timestamp, because I'm gonna move on from Fani in a little bit, just so I can look at the video.
So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop down. I have to go to the video, so I'm gonna come all the way out and I'll come back.
Okay, that sounds good. So let me have Fani play in the background. What were you saying, Brooklyn?
I said I'll talk to you next week.
Okay. So Brooklyn's tired of being on the line with me. He said, I'm gone. I'm out of here. Well, I appreciate you coming up. I still, again, I don't know how. I'm pretty sure I could watch a video to figure out how all this stuff works. But yeah, well, thank you for trusting me with your phone number.
All right. Good night.
All right. Have a good night. Bye-bye. All right. Let's get back. I'm probably gonna, okay, let's get back in here.
$1,000.
You never wrote him a check?
Ma'am, I don't have checks.
So you have no proof of any reimbursement for any of these things because it was all cash, right?
The testimony of one witness is enough to prove a fact.
So my
Are you
question was,
telling
do
me
you
What?
have any,
Hold on. What is Fani saying?
so you have no proof of any reimbursement for any of these things because it was all cash, right?
The testimony of one witness is enough to prove a fact.
So my
Are you
question was,
telling
do
me
you
that
have
I'm
any
lying to you?
proof?
Is that what you're intimating right here?
What?
I'm asking if you have any proof that you paid him any of these
The proof
monies.
is what I just told you.
You've no
Uh,
written proof.
This is insane.
Is that correct?
So I have some, probably some transactions like in Belize. I probably spent $500 on my card in Belize. I spent 800, I can't remember,
Belize.
$900 on each of our tickets to go to Belize. I did the $700. I probably got some minor expenses in Aruba that would be on a card. But for the most part, for those trips, other than, so the 2 cruises, I gave them money for those before we ever left. Because they were pre-booked. Let me answer.
Well, the question was if you had any written proof. And so
So I've answered you that I've had written
then we can
proof.
move
of-
to the next question. If you've answered if you have any written proof, and that was my question.
I want to make sure that we're clear that for the 2 cruises.
Judge,
and that's
I
the
asked if
cruise
she gave
plus
them written
Aruba.
proof.
We're not going to talk over each other. Ms. Merchant, she answered your question, so we can ask the next question. Ms. Morris, Ms. Cross will have plenty of opportunities to let you clarify your answers.
Thank you, Judge. Knowing your role as district attorney, you know that public funds are
Jerome, you are the best, okay? You are the absolute best.
scrutinized and money is scrutinized and things like that. You
And
understand?
I've never, I'm sorry, go ahead.
You understand?
Okay, I'm gonna have, let's see, it's like 10:03. It's 10:03, 10:03. It's 10:03. And I was gonna say, okay, maybe another 40 minutes and then I need to go.
Under a microscope. You have reporting requirements, all of those types of things. You have no record other than your testimony of the money that you've given.
Yeah, I cannot figure out, Jerome. I'm gonna need Greg. I'm gonna need somebody that actually knows how YouTube works. Because I tried to join his live, but the Zoom thing was not working. And then I tried to I did send him the link. I still don't know how the link works, and then I don't know. So we'll see. But I can only do like another 40 minutes. After that, I need to write. I need to write out, what is these? What are these? I need to write. I need to write messages in my greeting cards. Not my kids' greeting cards. So.
Given Mr. Wade.
You've already asked that question. Let's keep going.
When you took office, you had a tax lien of $4,600. Did you pay that with cash when you
Did
made
what?
that tax lien whole?
A tax lien for how
Dollars.
much?
Did you? When you took office, you had a tax lien of $4,600. Did you
Okay, 4,600. I thought it was 46,000. I'm like, God dang, Fani, what are you doing?
pay that with cash? when you made that tax lien whole?
I probably paid through, however you pay.
Okay.
What do you
So you
mean?
were saying that you had amounts of cash. You still had that lien in 2022 when you were dating Wade and going on these trips. So the cash that you gave him, that could have been used to pay this tax lien off?
You gonna tell me how to pay my
I'm
bills?
gonna object. It's not relevant as
Right.
it relates to why we're here today.
Mr. Merchant, are you trying to establish that she was insolvent in some way?
I definitely
It's a lot of weird. I guess it's their microphones.
was trying to establish that she did not have these mass amounts of cash that she's talking about. Yes.
What's up, Jerome?
What's up? What's up? We got a
What's
couple of
up,
things.
Mr.
We
Evil?
need to have a meeting right now. 'Cause,
What meeting?
we need to have a meeting because I understand your parenting. We got life things that's going on, but my question is, do you want to grow your channel, get monetized, or you want to stay like you are right now?
What's the problem? I feel like you're about to get me into some stuff. What's going on, Jerome?
No, I'm not getting you to anything. I'm just saying, like, that's like starting a new job, you got to go hard. And then
I
you
think
get
I've
the
been going
benefits.
hard, Jerome.
You have.
I
Like,
have a
look
full-time
at
job.
look at when we first met, all of us, the gang.
Okay.
We was, look at how I used to complain, and then you was like, oh, Jerome gotta go to work in the morning. We
I mean,
was
even
up
last
until
night I
like 2
stayed up
o'clock in the
longer.
morning. We was up
Last
until like
night I
2
stayed up
o'clock.
longer than I should have. I mean,
I'm just saying. Like, I remember when Flesh came in, the first,
okay.
like, when he was like, yo, what's up, late night game or something. That is awesome because when he finishes, I don't want to say too much, but it just makes sense to game it up and make it make sense.
What do you
And
mean?
to where there's people that work and they night is their our night is their daytime. So it's like it's a lot of people that actually, like, at 2 o'clock. There's a couple of channels that I've actually went out, wasn't sleepy, went on YouTube and see who was live, and half of the people that I'm still subscribed to, that's how I met them. But it's like, I think that you gotta strategize it with the timing, especially with you and Flesh, because I think that will be a good Charlie. That's good family. FFS. Come
I mean,
on.
I've
It
done
only
that
makes
before.
sense. It only makes sense. It only makes sense to build like that because it's the same family.
Yeah, but I've always done that where I start my live later because Flash is going on at 8. But for me, I feel that even if there's one person in here, I'm going to be talking and acting a goddamn fool and I'm
I
going to
know.
entertain them.
I
So,
know.
And that's the thing, because to me, my main point right now is just to be consistent. Because again, I was on YouTube for like a year I was on YouTube for like probably 6 months or whatever, and then I just disappeared. I literally just disappeared.
Just to let you know, SO, you're probably, from the people that I go on YouTube, because I be in them streets, but you are probably the most consistent, like, day for day now. I'll give you that. It's not a lot of people that do it every freaking day. And you might switch your time, but you can't get mad, but you always show up. You've never canceled
and I'm
anything.
I'm on time.
Yeah,
I'm on time.
So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And that's how you gotta expose yourself too, because people like stuff like this, it's like therapy for people too. You know what I mean? Because I know I'm not the only one that I be at work. I can have a stressful day. I can be mad. I could have lost money.
Yeah.
And I look forward to, like, you, Flesh, you know what I'm saying, to calm me, and then I actually come and just feel at peace, and then we family and we don't know each other, but we can feel the love. So it's like I know I'm speaking for everybody on that one.
Okay. Yeah. I understand what you're saying though, but here's the reality of things. Like I'm here. I'll be here every day. And when I cannot be here, I'll have what is this? Unless it's like a family emergency or something. If I cannot make the live, then I'm just going to
Yeah.
pre-record my videos and post them
Yeah.
as a
Nice.
live. But other
Nice.
than that, I think I've done a good job being
You
consistent.
have. Yes,
I'm
you
here.
have.
I have
More
good
than enough.
energy.
More than enough. More
I
than
have good
enough.
energy every time I come up here. So, yeah. So I think here's my thing though. I think that as far as YouTube's concerned, um, there are enough viewers for everybody to eat. So I'm not
Right.
really concerned with that. I have enough views to be monetized. I definitely have more than enough subscribers to be monetized.
Right.
It's whatever.
Right. But
Yeah.
it's like, but you never know. I've seen people that I went on their joints and it would be only less than 10 people in a whole night. And
Mhm.
I'm not gonna name the names, but and now they're doing like 1K, 2K.
You said
I
that about Star before.
Yeah, I did. There's a couple more. There's a lot of people that know Jerome Street. Like I said, I like people. I like to support people that is from the bottom coming up. I'm
Okay.
not gonna support people that's already making money. It doesn't make sense,
Yeah, the
you
best,
know.
Jerome.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyways, we're waiting for Real Thing to come back up here with a timestamp. Actually,
Yeah,
let's
let's
shift
not get
gears.
off until a real thing come back because she said she coming
You're
back. Real
funny.
thing is the real thing.
Let's
I
let's shift gears a little bit because I wanted to look. Last night I wanted to watch one of Star's videos, but obviously we couldn't get into that because it was contentious.
Which one was that today? Was that recent? The one that I saw.
That's from yesterday.
He interviewed Kayla.
Yeah, that was from yesterday. Let's quickly listen to.
Oh,
Okay, I'll take a screenshot of
that
this because I
is
wanna
awesome.
watch the rest of this. But yesterday I wanted to get into what's his name again? I'm getting distracted. I'm looking at my recommendations here because they're always really crazy. They're really crazy. So yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
I'd watched part of this yesterday when I was at work,
You should
but
get started. Come on your channel. I know he'll do it.
this man was loud as hell. Like he was so loud, and I'm like, no, these people are gonna be wondering what I'm doing in my office. So I had to
Y'all need
pick
to
him up.
stop it. I'm coming. Cause y'all don't. Oh, wait a minute. Is it going?
What's he doing?
Because hey, I be trying to tell y'all.
I'm gonna skip. I don't have time. I'm very
My
impatient.
phone today.
He's gonna be
I
famous.
know.
What's that?
He's gonna be famous.
He is very entertaining. I really
He's gonna be
like.
famous like Woody. He might do better than Woody actually.
Oh, you think
Because
so?
I think so. I could tell. Yeah. I can. He's gonna do some big things because he's very abstract. He's straight to the point, and then he can relate to people like me. You know, like ADHD.
Yeah, but he definitely changed his tune, though. He changed his tune
Yeah, that was very smart because
because
he was getting his money. He was getting that money. He was getting them.
maybe,
He was getting his money. Yeah, he was getting that.
maybe he's smart. I don't know. Here's the thing about me, Jerome. For me,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
don't like people that are wishy-washy. Like for me,
Yeah.
you
Well,
have to. I always have to know who I'm dealing with.
right,
Okay, I always have
right.
to know who I'm dealing with.
All
So
right.
what I was gonna say on Flash's video, if I had actually managed to get up there, is the fact that I don't like wishy-washy people. I need you to you need to be 10 toes down. Always, 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 always. I need to know who I'm
So
dealing
you
with.
don't like jokes. You don't like jokes. So
No, no,
you
I
wouldn't know a
like
joke from, huh?
I joke all the time on here, but
No, I'm talking about when you say wishy-washy. That's like levels to get to that because you gotta decipher what real and fake is because sometimes people come with jokes or they'll come nervous. So you're a lawyer. I forgot. I'm talking to a damn lawyer.
I can appreciate a joke. Like we have friendly banter on here all the time, right? We can go back and forth. But what I'm saying is that when, because what's his name again? Star has always maintained a certain opinion about Kayla, right? And that's an opinion that he formed,
I
when
think Jasmine was right. I
what?
think Jasmine, because Jasmine, I think she's right. Because I think she said that he got a crush on her, and she told him
I
no.
don't know about all that.
I know, but it kind of makes sense
No, I don't
because
know.
he was kind of hating, like I don't know,
Nah, I don't know about all that.
because he was
What
comparing Tisha, blah, 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 Kayla. That's what
Aisha?
got me as a man. Yeah, as a man, I was like, oh, okay,
Or is
okay.
that how men think? I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
But to me, it's just if you're going to malign somebody, then do it throughout. Don't now change your tune just because you are on a live with him. So to
well,
me,
he's interviewing though. He's interviewing. You can't be biased. That's like when Trump was president, when we didn't like him, you had to keep your composure even though you didn't like this guy.
nah, that's different because those are actual news reporters, and even though they're news reporters, I think that if you have in prior interviews, if you have maintained certain opinions about Trump, when you interview him, then you have to ask him the hard questions. You have to put his feet to the fire. If
Right.
you're not doing that, then I cannot trust you. Okay,
Mm,
so
mm.
to me, that's my opinion on this interaction, the interaction that we saw on Flesh's live with Kayla. So that's my opinion, right?
From
I just
today?
right what we saw on Flesh's
Today?
right on his
Okay.
video, because all the other times that I've watched, let me not generalize, but there have been a few lives again with Star. I've only watched maybe 3 or 4 videos. I think this one is going to make 4. But
Right, right.
the,
But you
the
gotta watch the old ones. That's the
you
old
keep
ones
saying
is
that.
what made I'm telling you, you gotta watch because I'm telling you, he's gonna make some money
Yeah,
because how if you go to his beginning and then how he did it his way, I was like,
right.
God, he used to have me laughing. I used to just give him
It's
money
funny.
because it was like, yeah, I used to send him money just because he made me laugh. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I wake up and I go on
Right.
some more. I love to hear somebody to make me laugh. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
especially when you're consistent, man. He was
Right.
very consistent. He went at Nick at night and all of that. She was hesitant like you. And I think I put something in the chat, and I don't know if it was me. I'm pretty sure it was what, but I think it was me. And
Yeah.
she was like, "All right, we gonna check him out, just like how you did." But
Yeah.
and then they became really good, and he blew. He kept going, going, going,
Yeah.
and I think he's gonna keep going, going, going. He's gonna go. He's gonna go.
Right. I mean,
He's
that's
gonna go.
usually how YouTube works, though. You just have to uh keep being consistent. And I mean, we're gonna have to touch on Luigi. We're gonna have to touch on Luigi this weekend because
Luigi.
the feds are about to hit him. Okay, the feds are coming
He's
after.
back in New York. You know he in New York now, right?
He's in New
They got him
York.
back. Yeah, he in New
Yeah,
York
no,
now.
I watched some of that after my deposition today, and that is the right move because when I first covered Luigi, to me it was strange that he was going to fight extradition. Okay, I mean it's a process, but at the end of the day, you're still going to lose if
Yeah,
they have the right person. So
right.
I'm glad that it sounds like he's following good legal advice, and we're going to have to take a deeper dive into Karen Freeman Agnifilo, because again, I don't know her personally. My only interactions, which is virtual interactions with her, have been through Legal AF and the Midas Touch Network. I don't know. You can check them out. They're lawyers based out of New York,
Yeah,
and they, I mean, they're serious over there. Okay, they're
yeah.
not
I
cracking
watched
jokes or
him.
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I watched that.
they're serious over there. So that's really been my only introduction to her. But You know, him waiving extradition to me it seems like the right move. He gets to New York.
Yeah.
He gets to meet with his attorneys. His attorneys can actually, visit him wherever he's being held, and they can start working on the case. Okay,
Right.
so
He
that's
ain't
good.
gonna he ain't gonna like Rikers Island, I'll tell you that.
What's that?
He ain't gonna like Rikers Island. I don't know if they're
That-
gonna put him over there where Diddy at, but he gonna have to go to Rikers Island for this.
Have you ever been to Rikers? You
Hell
don't
no.
answer.
Thank God no.
Oh, okay.
Thank God.
Okay.
I only got in trouble when I moved down south.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I
That
got
is,
away with
I would have
everything.
never thought that. I would have thought that your troubles were in New York.
No, it's down
Oh,
down.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
never had to get a license, driver license or nothing, and all of that stuff. I ain't had no problems in New York.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah.
All right. Okay, let's get into this though, because there's a part I wanted to watch. I have no timestamp, so okay, I want to read this stuff though.
Where's Real Thing at? I thought she was coming. She's
She's
probably gonna
probably
save
still
it.
coming back. Somebody
Oh, okay.
says straight facts about everybody just wanting a story. And this is what I'm saying, because he's been calling Kayla a cloud chaser all this time, and then when when Kayla's before him, in front of him,
Yeah.
he's changing
Cause
his
he know,
tune.
cause listen, he even though he do his thing, he is a very talented guy.
Yeah.
Regardless if he drink, whatever. I don't never ever like people that work with me. I've got people that work with me, and I'll be like, questioning them, but
Yeah.
I ain't going to say that. You do whatever you do after work, but when you show up, perform. I don't care what you do on your
Yeah.
afterlife. You know what I mean? Long
Yeah.
as you keep that over there and perform.
Right.
Let's get this money. Let's go.
No, okay. I guess that's the approach you took then. So some other person here says it's because they all get on there drunk. How's that gonna work with Shannon on probation? She said on the live video that December for lawyers, Thursday, Sundays for Christmas parties. I don't even know what this means. I think Shannon chose the wrong one, and he was agreeing with her. And then her simple self just messed up Shannon's civil case by saying the sheriff protected him and made sure he was safe once he found out he was married to her. How are you going to sue someone saying he didn't make sure the jail conditions? I don't even know what this is about. Another person says Kayla used all of them for clout. She tells everybody's business, including her. She played Miss Sylvia and wanted Miss Sylvia to tell everyone she's married and then had everybody mad at her. Lol, she's gonna have all Shannon's business in the streets too. I'll give it a few months. Let's see. Okay, and he was agreeing with this person, Robin Baby One. So I don't know. Let's get in here though. That's
You
again
trying to get Jasmine to come up in here and start cursing, messing with
Jasmine's
her
not gonna
cousin.
cuss in here. Real things back.
I made it back. I can't believe I actually found it. I emailed
Okay.
it to you with the
All right.
timestamp whenever you're ready.
All right, let me go in here. So I'm gonna play Star, and while I'm going through my emails. And thank you very much, Real Thing. I appreciate it.
Of course. You're welcome.
Let's go.
Ain't never him.
Nice.
A riot within the jail. Okay, cool. You started a riot in my jail and you want me to come and give you a bond after your mama talk shit about me.
What on
I
earth?
own my courthouse still. Okay, whatever, right? So now
5614.
Caleb.
I'm sorry, I found it. So I need to stop sharing this and then move on to a different screen.
Is Brooklyn still here? Okay.
Yeah, Brooklyn's still here. So this was on Sylvia's channel.
Yes. Is it okay to
Yeah, no,
share?
it's fine. It's fine. I just, I would have been looking in the wrong spot. Okay, I think you said 5614. Am I sharing my screen or no?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, thank you. So 56. All right, we'll just start at, move it a bit back. 56.
her audience were allowed to ask him questions, so they
Okay.
asked him about that.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's get Brooklyn said I'm here. All right, let's get in here.
Watch this, may think we're ahead at this point. We have to do what's right. We have to do what's fair, and I want a fair trial.
Absolutely. If she says, if I wanted you to represent me, what does it cost to retain you?
No, that just means you're in serious trouble. So.
Well, it depends on what you're alleged to have done.
All right.
But the way that criminal defense attorneys, for the most part, kind of charge a flat fee up front. Sometimes in certain cases, there's a monthly, but usually it's kind of a flat fee.
And part of the reason why criminal defense attorneys want to be a retainer up front is because it's usually it's very difficult for an attorney to get out of a case, right? So down the line, if you are not paid, you might be, 3 weeks, 4 weeks into the trial. Just because you have not been paid, that is not going to be good enough a reason for the judge to take you off the case. So, yeah, that's why they usually get that money up front.
So what happens is clients approach us, they tell us, or potential clients,
right?
We look at the charges, we look at what it'll cost to defend them, to do the best job we possibly can for them, and then we give a price to do that. So I can't really tell.
Well, I think I went past it because it's supposed to be, isn't it 56:14? Did I miss?
No, you got it. He just explained it. Okay. He just was explaining flat fee.
Okay. Well, I think I mistook this for, I guess I just could confuse the videos. Because I thought that there's another video of the WTF Wednesday where Doug talked about his limited
cross-examination.
Right. Do you have
sorry. Sure. I thought you were asking me to find that part first.
Oh no.
No.
But it's good. No. It was
so you want to see that part
right,
where he talks about his cross-examination skills? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. No
and that's where I was confused because I'm like, I thought this was on Kayla's channel. So
I should have confirmed with you, but I thought
no, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll just switch over to Star while you get that. I have too many open tabs.
And I see why Flesh in the moment. Flesh is still alive right now.
Yeah.
Y'all got to work that out because it doesn't make sense. Dollars don't make sense.
Work it out how? How do you want
because the fans can't go to 2 concerts at the same damn time.
I have co-counsels. I don't have fans, but go ahead.
Talking about, I'm a fan. I can't go to 2
You're
different
my
concerts.
co-counsel.
I know it. Damn.
Yeah. You're my co-counsel.
I'm working for 2 law. I'm working for 2 law firms.
Yeah, you're definitely co-counsel. We don't do fans.
Is that allowed to? Can y'all do that?
Yeah.
You could work for 2 different law firms?
Yeah, as long as it's not a conflict of interest. There was a time when I was with a public defender's office and a private attorney. And the reason I could do that is because obviously they're both on the same side. Yeah.
So you're just saying that the check was getting signed by the same people? Is that what you said?
No. It's 2 different checks, but I'm saying we're representing the same side. We're representing criminal defendants, right? Whereas I cannot work in the public defender's office and the prosecutor's office because I'm gonna, end up with information that, yeah. Let's quickly find. Oh, here it is. So while Real Thing is finding that, let's go in here. And I'm off on Monday. Okay, Monday, actually, I'm not gonna, because I was gonna say I could begin live streaming early, but I'm gonna spend the day with my baby.
That was a good question. So for the holidays, today's Thursday. So what's the schedule? Because I know I'm Monday, Tuesday,
are you working?
Wednesday, I'm gonna be out. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I am, but which is fine because y'all do a great job. I'm just letting you know, just for the fam. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm done.
What do you mean done? You're working or you're not working? You're sleeping or you're getting drunk? What's going on?
Nah, I'm actually doing two things. I gotta go to Florida. I'm going to Jacksonville,
Ooh,
and
okay.
then I'm coming right back to Charleston.
Okay. Is that with work or a family?
Family. I'm
Oh,
going
okay,
because
okay.
truthfully, I'm knocking out two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Because I
Not
wish
just
I would have just
joking.
stayed in Jacksonville, but you know,
Yeah.
but I gotta come back. It's his birthday.
Oh, okay. Whose birthday?
One of my boys. That's one of my South Carolina boys. Yeah.
Are you guys going to the strip club?
Nah,
What are you doing?
he rented out a whole resort with the fish and all of that. You know,
Dang, invite me. I can fish.
yeah, he rented out a whole resort. It was
I
nice.
can fish. You
It's gonna
guys would
be
have to
nice.
sign NDAs though. You'd have to sign NDAs. So you know. Yeah. All right. Is he gonna do it 50 big?
Yeah. How did you know that? How did you know that? How did you know
Uh,
that? I didn't even tell you.
oh,
How
he's
did you
doing
even
50
know
big.
that?
I just,
That's
Everybody's
his
doing
50th
50
birthday.
big.
50
Yeah.
big.
Word.
That's funny.
Next.
Real thing. Real thing. Let's go. Real thing.
All right, let's go. All right. Sorry about that. But at least we got to hear Doug say it right out of his mouth about the
Right.
flat fee. Okay. So on the Christmas show, as
All
you
right, let me
I
find it.
think okay.
Let me find. You can talk. You can talk.
Well, you know that we were recapping the
Right.
moments of the trial. And so this part of the show is
Where is she?
recapping Doug direct examination of Kayla during the
Okay.
hearing regarding
Mhm.
the ex parte.
Uh-oh.
And so that's
I
when he
like where
goes
this is
into,
going.
so it's going to be at timestamp 55:50.
I
Okay.
like where this is going. I love it.
55. 55. I'll go with 40.
You
Go
gotta
with.
get real thing. Well, no, let me shut up.
Okay,
I'm
hang
gonna
on.
get a bunch of people mad. I'm gonna get a bunch of people
What?
mad. Nothing.
No, you need to say it now. I'm not gonna force people.
No.
Yeah.
It's too many people that's in our family. There's people in our family. I'm not gonna remember everybody, so I'm gonna shut
Yeah.
up.
Brooklyn, what's at 21? All right, let's get started. And thank you for getting this for me, real.
Oh, he probably wants you to see Shannon.
Oh,
Shannon makes an appearance, just like we
Oh,
knew he
always
would.
lying.
okay. He makes a cameo. All
A
right.
cameo.
Okay. All right. Let's first play this and then we'll go back there. All right. Let's
Love
see.
you
Who do we
guys.
have in here? Yeah, I must have joined much later because I just saw a whole bunch of people that I really did not know. So, yeah, I don't. Okay. All right. Let's get in here. Let's.
Before you get into what anybody
Oh,
said. So y'all are in chambers. Like,
all right. Come on.
I'm gonna just stop it right there because we get the point. But
That was painful for me to
I know
watch.
when
That
I
was
joined, real thing, you don't have to answer, right? But I'd like to know your opinion. At the time when I joined, because it was much later, I'm trying to see. I probably joined around an hour, closer. Yeah, I think around this time, closer to 2 hours, because this is what the screen looked like. It had all these people, Thaga Daly, and these two other folks, three folks that I actually have never seen before. But my sense was that I'm not a lawyer, but seemed very reserved. I could be wrong. Maybe that's just her demeanor. But when I joined, she seemed, I don't know, she just seemed pretty reserved.
Yeah, well, there's different personalities,
Right.
right? And different things are going on. So I can understand, probably so. I'm more of a
Okay.
reserved person. So like when
Yeah.
y'all be doing y'all thing, I be quiet because there's nothing for me to say.
Oh, okay. So no, that checks out. I was just saying because I have watched her channel maybe once or twice,
Mhm.
but when I just went on, when I went on the live, she just looked pretty reserved. I just wanted to know that I'm not.
That's in the science. I'm
Okay.
not a lawyer, but so she's absorbing information. She's trying to be. I'm not a lawyer, but is a genius. That's a genius type thing. That's
All
genius.
right. All right,
That's
Jerome.
genius.
Okay,
She's
Jerome.
absorbing and with her composure of
Yeah.
learning, she's gonna be a lawyer. She's gonna change her name to I am a lawyer.
She'd
But
have to go to law school first and pass the bar first.
she
But I
probably
mean,
doing it.
she's in California, so she doesn't actually have to go to law school. So that's great for her. She's just gonna have to do the baby bar and then take
What's
the
the
bar
baby
exam.
bar? Can I take the baby bar?
If you move to California, or if you go to California, yeah, you can.
I can do that.
So it's a rigorous exam for people that did not go to law school, but you have to pass that before you can actually take the actual bar. I mean, Kim took it a number of times and she failed a number of times.
So if I take the baby bar, can I do accident claims?
You'd take the baby bar, but you'd also actually have to pass the real bar. So, yeah. Shout out to Jason.
Hodge just be all over, man. That
All
guy
right.
right there deserves. He's like Thugger Daily.
All right, let's see what's
It's like
happening.
That's my
my
first
direct
time
ex-
watching that.
my direct examination was so bad.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Are you listening, Jerome? This is really for you. This is a PSA for you. Let me go back a little bit. This is a PSA for you.
All right.
My first time watching that.
My direct examination was so bad, so clumsy and disorganized that
Right.
Judge Whitaker had to take over.
Yeah.
And start asking the questions because she just had it with me.
Right.
But that
So
was
look-
that was my first time realizing that she asked questions because initially, this is my first time ever watching any part of it.
Mhm.
But the internet made me believe that she only took over with the state.
No,
Yeah.
no, she got tired of
That's
me
how
real
they
quick.
kept saying Kayla did such a bad job that that's my first
No.
time realizing.
No, I did a terrible job on your direct, and I
Yeah.
was asking compound
Oh.
questions, and I was like saying things that didn't make any sense.
Hey,
Well, that's not what it looks like. So, Doug, do you think that's why
Let me
she
respond.
kept asking the questions?
Okay, respond.
No, keep going. Let me respond.
All right.
I didn't get it. I was just like, what is going on?
Well, in a way, she's the investigator there because we're asking her to rule based on what happened in that meeting,
Mhm.
and she wanted to get the answers to the questions. Where
And for the folks that are here, right? Because this is really my core base. I want to know what trials are you guys interested in? And that is
question.
what I'm going to cover. Because again, the lady out of Florida, I forgot her name, the one that murked the boyfriend on the elevator, or at least there was a fight in the elevator. She had a hearing today. But I'm not going to cover that if nobody is actually interested in that. But in the chat, or you can come up here and just say whatever trial you're interested in. I'm trying to organize myself as we get into the new year. So let me know what you're interested in. And if you're just interested in YSL, then so be it. You're gonna have to wait until February.
she needed those answers in order to make a ruling.
Right.
So she wanted to make sure that she was asking Kayla.
This is what I am going to say. All right. So obviously here we heard Doug say that the judge had to take over and ask questions of Kayla in order for the judge to make a determination. The same thing applies for Judge McBurney when it came to that. What is that? When it came to the bond hearing, okay? A judge is not going to ask questions unless it is uncertain, unless there's uncertainty. In that case, and I said this before, even without listening to Doug, I said that before. The reason why Judge McBurney had to ask those questions is because those questions are critical to his determination. Folks can go on about the warrant being signed on X day or whatever, but I have never in my life, never in my years of practicing, have I seen somebody an attorney make a bail or bond application without addressing those two critical aspects of a bail application. So again, a judge is asking questions if the attorneys are not asking the right questions. But let's get into this. I know Jerome has a
The
response.
questions
Doug.
that she needed answers to.
Right.
So that's why. And then I wasn't getting her what she needed. And she's like, well, forget this clumsy guy. I'm just going to take over and ask the questions myself. And thank you for replaying one of the highlights of my career right there. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it, Kayla.
Yeah.
It's humbling after getting that not guilty. It's humbling to watch me stumble through that.
And here again, I'm going to maintain with the limited skills that Doug has. Doug could not have that man has limited skills when it comes to criminal cases. And I was telling you guys all of this before I even knew anything about this man. The only thing I knew was that he worked as a civil attorney for a number of years, but it was very clear. It was very clear. Even Stevie Wonder could see that he did not know what he was doing. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it with confidence. Under no circumstances would Doug have been able to pull that off without the assistance of Max Shard and the other attorneys that were in that trial. So, yeah. So, Jerome doesn't like what I'm saying, which is fine, it's
I just can't
fine.
wait. I just can't wait. I can't wait.
Okay, all right. So let's play and see.
Okay, so let's see.
Is that it?
I am going.
You did fine, by the way. People jumped on you, but you did fine.
She did awful.
I think you did fine too.
No,
from the outside looking.
No. She was awful on the stand. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. The one thing about sustained overrule, we're not gonna be delusional over here. Like, no.
That's you.
So let's see, 21. Do you have your response? Because I'm gonna move to the timestamp that Brooklyn proposed. Jerome, do you have a response? Because even Doug admitted that, he is a little shaky. He's a little shaky.
Yeah, of course, because he's not used to that environment. But like I was going to say, with Doug, I'm going to leave it at that, is like for a case like this,
yeah,
with all the lawyers that was involved, right? Doug did his part. So I would say, like, they formed like Voltron. If anybody remember Voltron, and they formed. That's like when you gotta come up higher, everybody play their part. He played his part because, like, I agree with you with Sharp, everybody. They all work together. And Weinstein, Doug, the thing I can say about Doug, I bet you that being that you said that he's minimal, I guarantee you that for him, he saw things that they didn't see. And that's how he was doing all of those motions, where he was going with those motions that he's doing. He was learning. And he was probably reminding them of stuff because they're seasoned. You always gotta have somebody that's hungry to remind you of the small things.
Jerome, what do you say?
All right.
What's his part? What part did he play? Let's not be vague.
They were helping each other, and they was whispering his ear. Probably when whatever he was doing, they was helping him. Like, no, Doug, no, Doug, no, Doug. But towards the end, I think Doug was like, "Yo, what about this? What about this? What about this?"
What do you mean? What about this? What about what?
Yeah, I think that he just got seasoned. If that's your first case, in this case right here, you don't think that he was up at night trying to prove himself?
I don't think so. I don't think so. A person that was up at night.
When you get Matt Short on your channel, ask him that question.
I'm not going to interview one of these folks.
What do they think about Doug? What about Doug, and rate him
Obviously,
on his first criminal trial?
Listen, for folks that work together, they're going to say nothing but good things. Okay, that's just how it is. Like, if somebody asked me a question about the attorney that I work with, I am critical of her a lot. I'm critical of everybody, and I'm not shy. But that's because I'm hard on myself when I criticize I criticize my own work. That's just how it goes. But we would not get an honest answer from
If you
anything.
didn't know that was his first criminal trial, would you have that same opinion? Would you, if you didn't know that, would you think that this was his first one?
I had that opinion even without knowing that. I could tell he was trash.
Oh God.
No,
Okay.
he was trash. He was absolute trash. I could tell
He
that.
wasn't saying nothing.
May I ask a
Exactly.
question?
What's that?
I just wanted to ask,
Okay.
what is the solution? What is the remedy? How does a defense criminal attorney become better? Do they practice? Should they take additional classes?
Real thing.
Study other attorneys?
Real thing
What is the
that
solution?
she on that real shit.
There are a number of ways around this, okay? My first suggestion, like for Doug, obviously, he's an older guy. An older guy is now going to want to take on misdemeanors because he's going to think that they're beneath him, okay? But the biggest problem here, one of the biggest problems with how do I put this? Let me change it. Let me phrase that differently, okay? When I started out, I've always maintained that if you are honest with yourself, if you have integrity, if you know the rules of criminal procedure, if you know criminal law, if you know the rules of evidence, okay? It's easy to, when you have a case in front of you, you have facts in front of you, you know what the outcome is going to be even before you get into that courtroom, okay? So when I started out, they did it perfectly for me. They did it perfectly for me. They gave me a case that they knew I was going to lose, okay? So they gave me, because here's the thing with criminal cases. If somebody comes to you with, but they also gave me, I think it was a misdemeanor. I don't think it was, I don't remember it being a felony. The only thing I remember is that I reported on duty on a Thursday, and the following week, the Wednesday, I was in trial. So yeah. So the way they did it for me, it was a progression. The first one that they gave me was a case that they knew I was going to lose. So that was an acquittal. And then the second case they gave me, it was one of these, I forgot the motion. A directed verdict. That's the one that they gave me next. After that, they gave me a case that led to a conviction. And after that, I knew my way.
What is a directive verdict? What does that mean?
It basically means that the person should not have been charged to begin with. The prosecution does not have enough for a finder of fact to even consider the facts. So it means that it was really lacking. So Brooklyn says for them to get better, they have to do mock trials. Mock trials are not real trials, and I think Doug is past that stage now. I'm just inclined to believe that somebody that has been practicing, even though it's civil, for a lengthy amount of time, he probably would not want to do misdemeanors, or at least not a lot. At least not a lot of them. Okay. But in order to improve, you'd have to actually be able to criticize his own work. He'd have to go back to this Weisel trial and recognize that he was absolute utter garbage trash. Okay. If he can do that, if he can be honest with himself, that is the first step. And then he's going to have to identify what he can improve. A lot of it really it's going to come down to reading, but you don't even get there without actually really practicing. And that's why, to me, it's important to be watching these trials, because I don't even want to say every once in a while. A lot of times you do learn something that you may not have considered, because as a single attorney, there are only so many trials you'll be exposed to. But with, the Law and Crime Network, you're exposed to much more. than you otherwise would be exposed to in your jurisdiction. But it's going to come down to it's practice, it's reading, and being critical and being honest with yourself. So yeah, but here's the other problem though. Typically, the way that I was trained is because there has been some show that if you have not a prosecutor, a public defender, a criminal defense attorney, typically if they go to trial and they win their first trial, that could cause them to have a chip on their shoulder. And it's not always a good thing depending on their personalities and their character traits. Because if somebody goes in there and they said, oh, I won my first trial, they could mistakenly believe that they can go on to win other trials. And if they don't believe in evolving, self-improvement, reflection, then that could hamper their success. And then again, numbers are really, when it comes to trial, again, to me, it's never really about conviction or acquittal, right? That is going to sound very strange, but it's not about conviction or acquittal. For me, my main focus is on the arguments that the attorneys advance. I'm an argument type of person. I've read decisions before because I'm the type of person that's usually leaning more towards the defendant. That's just how it is because again, I've been a public defender. I've been a prosecutor too, but I've always been I've always leaned towards the defendant. So there are times when I'm reading decisions. I'll go back to like my public defender days. I'll be reading decisions in preparation for a hearing, right? And a lot of times, the decisions are very devastating for criminal defendants, right? And I could start off by reading a court decision with a preconceived notion of how the judge should have ruled. But if the judge has a really good argument, then I can accept it. So for me, again, it's always whether somebody makes a good argument. It's not so much about the outcome. It's not so much about the outcome. It's whether they actually put on a good case, whether it's a good presentation, and that's to me, that's the exciting part about being an attorney, the ability to make arguments, and I do make arguments out of thin air. So the ability to make arguments. I'll give you an example of a case. It's again that we talked about that case a few weeks back. The Rodney King, the Rodney King trial. A few years back, I don't remember which year, but maybe 5 years ago, I went back and I watched some of that, some of the jury interviews right after the fact, and because obviously the Rodney King case is one of those cases that are difficult for me. And part of that reason really goes back to my upbringing because I was going to say my mom, but it's not really my mom. Both of my parents were freedom fighters. So I've been raised with a certain, I've just been raised in a certain household, right? So that has formed my views on a lot of things, regardless of whether it's interactions between the police and ordinary citizens or just law enforcement overall. So with the Rodney King case, I went back and I really had, because obviously I don't agree. I don't agree with the jury's verdict, but it's a jury's verdict, and I respect it. But that said, a lot of what those jurors said in their post-deliberation interviews made a lot of sense. Even though I don't agree with the verdict, I understand how they got there. And that's why, to me, it's the arguments that matter and not so much the outcome. So what stood out in that, or at least what the jurors were saying in that, in the Rodney King trial was that the defendant, the police officer's argument, or their defenses were that they were pretty much just acting in line with their training, right? So from the juror's perspective, that was a compelling argument. And to me, I understood exactly how the jurors got to that decision based on the evidence that was presented and based on what the defendants were arguing. So hopefully one day I will muster the courage to actually watch the Trayvon Martin trial. It's been a difficult one for me, but as far as that trial is concerned, there's always been a lot of discourse and discussion, especially in the public defenders, subreddit. Folks have gone on to praise the defense attorney in that case. They thought he put on, some really good work as far as cross-examination and just putting on a defense for a defendant that has pretty damning evidence against them, right? So, that's a long answer. That is a very long answer and a long-winded answer to your question, Real Thing, but hopefully I answered exactly what you're asking.
Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome. All right, so let's go to 21 because that's what Brooklyn wanted to watch.
And I know you have known you, sir, for at least two decades or more, sir. And I know that you have told him, hey, look, if you invoke, this is probably what's going to happen.
Okay, who's this? I've actually not seen this person before. Somebody called Alley Cat. Who's that? Do you guys know this person down here? Or have you gone to their channel? Have you visited the channel? Or maybe it's an attorney. I don't know. It might be an attorney. But I just realized that I missed the actual part.
No, I've never seen that. If you invoke, this is probably what's going to happen.
Oh, there's Mr. Bumpus.
And I suspect that if you probably have a conversation with him now, you're probably going to tell him, well, that was a self-fulfilling prophecy in terms of what I told you might happen.
Okay.
But I don't know what conversations you have with him, but I suspect that they were consistent with what the
I know there's Mr. Bumpus. I guess that's what Brooklyn wanted me to watch. And I've got when the appeals court decision came out in Fani Willis, right? Because obviously once my deposition was done, I had a lot of time on my hands. I had a lot of time on my hands. I was just on YouTube trying to figure.
What's today? You did it today, right? Deposition was today, right?
Yeah,
You
I
had
had
to do
my
that
deposition today.
How did that work? How did that work?
Other attorneys would say it went great. For me, I'm the type to say that it went good just because I like to, be reserved. And here's the thing. When you've practiced as a public defender for any number of times, you know that anything and everything can go wrong. Granted, this is not a criminal case, right? But we're not there yet. Like, a case is not done until the case is actually settled. Once we sign those settlement documents and I know, but other than that, my client did exactly what I told her to do. I coached her well. That's what I do. I prepared her well. She cried when she was supposed to cry. So yeah, that is just how I go about my stuff. But she did fantastic. I did not get much sleep because I said, when I leave these lives, I don't even go to sleep. I was doing a whole bunch of random things like cleaning up, and I need to buy melatonin because
a lot of ironing.
I was really ironing.
Did you iron the whole week, like Jasmine said? Just iron for the whole week.
We'll see. We'll see. That might be a 2025 resolution. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, so we watch Bumpus. Do you guys want to move back to Fani Willis or what's the plan? I have I don't know, 5-10 minutes and then I need to go iron.
Real Thing is running this.
I am definitely not running this. Yes, let's go back to Fani. I mean,
all right.
I'm cool with whatever y'all want to do.
All right,
no, you're running this because I like to be in the backseat.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's remove this. Brooklyn, you take melatonin. I need to take it because I have I have a hard time falling asleep. I have insomnia. Like I cannot, it just takes me a long time to fall asleep, no matter how tired I am. So
Me too. I'm the same.
yeah, it takes me forever to sleep. And I typically only get like 5 hours of sleep because I have to be up, get my daughter ready, feed her, get her to the bus. And once I do all of that, I get dressed, the shower, and usually I'm in the office before 7. So yeah.
Damn. So you
Yeah.
must own the office.
No, I don't own the office. I just take my job seriously. That's it.
Yeah, that was a good answer.
I take my job seriously.
Good answer.
I go to bed for my clients, Jerome. That's when I have to prepare. I need to prepare them for when they need to cry. I need to write it all out. I'm like, no, I'm serious. She cried like 3 times. I was so proud of myself. I was like, get it. Yeah, I was really happy. So yeah, just a few tricks,
All right. Re-ask the question.
You had a tax lien in 2022, $4,600.
Did you say I did?
And you did not use this cash that you had to reimburse Mr. Wade to pay that off, correct?
No.
Okay.
I went shopping too when I didn't pay it off.
And you talked about you gave a lot of interviews to some authors.
I wanted to ask, how do you end up with a $4,000 lien, like tax lien? I don't want to ask though, because I don't want to find out. I don't want to find out. Yeah. What does this mean? I don't know what that means. But okay.
I would not characterize it as a lot. I probably have spoken to them 2 or 3 times.
Okay, I need to plug up my
I
MacBook.
think it's already come up. Finances are discussed in the book.
Yeah, I remember that when her daughter got arrested.
What came up with
Remember what?
She talking about when her daughter got arrested and she showed up with Nathan Wade. Remember when? And she was pregnant. She had to go to jail.
Yeah, I saw that surveillance footage pretty recently. Let me see if I can get it.
She's pregnant and she had to go to jail. Fani couldn't do nothing. It was in another county. She couldn't do nothing.
I mean, really, she should not be interfering.
Hey, you know the funny thing is Nathan Wade, he was like, yo, you want me to drive the car? She was like, no. You got to play it with, because she was quick when she said no. Because that right there, because I read through the lines. When he showed up, he was like, yo, you want me to drive the car? She cut him real quick.
Oh, I see.
So that lets you know that she is really sharp on her crookedness.
You're funny. Let's find that. Let's see. Fani Willis.
Rhodes.
Daughter.
Yeah.
Daughter. Arrested. So let's find that. I remember seeing it.
They are.
Is this on Megyn Kelly? I remember seeing the actual the New York Post. I don't want that. Let me share the screen so that you guys are not just stranded out here. So let's see. Just trying to figure out which one to play. Guess let's go with. Do I really want to give Megyn Kelly my time? There was a news because I watched these surveillance a while back.
No, just the raw body cam footage would be better.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find. Let's see. A body cam. I don't know, maybe this. Yeah, let's do this.
Who's with mom, dad? Who's with him?
Mom, dad.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
So,
Nice to meet you. What?
So apparently,
Nice to meet you.
apparently her license is
I mean, and she looks cute though.
for something. Doesn't tell us what for or why or where. Or that's something she's going to have to call DMV and find out. Right. Probably what happened is she had a speeding ticket, some kind of traffic infraction, never went to court, didn't take care of it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the best guess. So she's gone over to Fayette County Jail, which is right in the Fayetteville Square. It's 145 Johnson Avenue. Normally, I would say a couple hours is the process. It just depends on how busy they are and like that, okay? The driving on the suspended is basically a traffic citation. She's got to have her fingerprints done and picture taken, then she can make her bonds.
I need to find the actual, because the one that I watched, the daughter was actually, let me see. Let me see. YouTube. No, actually, I shouldn't be on YouTube. I should just Google it. Fani Willis, daughter, arrested. Let's see. I don't see Real Thing. Do you by any chance? Oh, I think I found. No, this is Facebook. I don't have Facebook, so that's not gonna work. Well, I cannot find it. She went shooing and forgot about her daughter's tickets. She got arrested. Then she's a grandmother. She can be a grandmother, Brooklyn. She can be a grandmother, Brooklyn. So let's see. Fani Willis in, what is it called again? Church. Yeah. Let's go there. Let us go there. Yeah, this was, I don't know. I don't know why she went up there, lied to these people about Nathan Wade.
How many of y'all know that's what Bethel means? I'm going to
Okay.
ask y'all to give me a minute.
All right.
I have some notes here, and at some points I'll go to them.
Okay.
And at some points I'm just going to stray from them. But I hope y'all will be patient with me. The bishop told me I am welcome to be myself.
Okay.
In this very historic house of God. How many of y'all know that's what Bethel means?
I can tell she's wearing a Calvin Klein dress. I think I have something similar. But where does she talk about? Hold on. Maybe I should just find a short clip, because otherwise.
District Attorney Fani Willis is taking aim at her critics.
Tired. Word to America today.
Okay.
Black women are sick and tired of being sick and tired.
While addressing the congregation at Turner Chapel AME Church, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis also took time to address her critics, like former New York Mayor Rudolph Giuliani, one of the co-defendants.
Rudolph is in hot water.
In the Fulton County election
He's like the
interference
only
case
one that
against
really
former President Donald
did
Trump.
not get
I've
to
heard
escape.
from friends of all religious backgrounds and all races, really disgusted that in God's house, ugliness against women is celebrated and not condemned.
You know what I want to hear? I want you
The
to talk
appeal that
about-
is seeking to have her removed from the case. It filed a motion to dismiss the appeal that is seeking to have her removed from the case.
Caused others so much fear. I have caused others so much fear by having the audacity to work towards my oath every day to make sure
Honey, we know that's not why.
Lady Justice works
That is not
hard
why.
hear me on this. That Lady Justice works hard every day to serve all of her constituents.
Again, this goes back to integrity.
District Attorney Fani Willis
Being
is
honest with thyself, because I don't know what she was thinking. Maybe she was not thinking. I doubt she was thinking. But it makes no sense. But let's quickly go over the let's see. Let's quickly go over. Jerome, are you still there? Am I still live? I don't even know. Is my mic? My mic's moving. Real Thing, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. So let's quickly go over the
You be kicking me out.
No, you're right there. You're right there. let's quickly go over the appeals court decision, okay? This
Right.
decision was imminent to me again. It made no sense. It made it made no sense, okay? I am when somebody is in a position such as Fani Willis, you would think that she would think she would think everything through. But in this case, I mean, again, I don't fault her for landing on somebody's genitals. Like sometimes it happens. Sometimes you just slip up. Sometimes you slip and you just land incorrectly. Okay, I don't fault her for that. If that's what she wanted to do, if that's how she wanted to play, that's her business. My real problem has always been her hiring this man on this case when he has no experience whatsoever. And it showed because he is a defense attorney. And, even though he's a defense attorney, a bunch of those, some of those charges were facially insufficient and had thrown out. But that said, I just do not, and I don't get it. I don't get it. And
I get it.
What do you get?
If Fani Willis was a male,
okay.
I mean, if Nathan Wade was a male, I mean, they switched positions, and Fani had to work her way up. This would be a whole different story.
Okay.
They only gave her a pass because she's a female. If she was a male, oh shit. I mean, oh shoot. Yo, I'm telling you, because she's gotten away, like you said, penis for game. Penis for game. And
yeah.
If it was vice versa, it would have been a totally, they would have took that black man down if she was working for him.
I mean, to me, it still does not make sense. I'm like, she could have, gave him top and done everything she wanted to do. I don't understand why she hired the man. Cause I'm like,
she was giving him a promotion.
I have a real question, but before I ask the question,
yeah,
to everyone who constantly says he didn't even have any, prosecutory experience. He's never been a prosecutor.
Right.
He did not qualify for this special prosecutor position.
That's true.
He says he is an accomplished lawyer and he's very proud of the work he and his investigators did on this Trump case. They brought it to the grand jury and they were indicted because they indeed committed these crimes. And for all you naysayers, if he was not a good prosecutor or not qualified, this case would not even been indicted. It was indicted because of the good work Mr. Wade did.
Well, that work means nothing now. The work means absolutely nothing now. They did all of that work for nothing. And that is what is frustrating about this case, because they did not, again, Donald Trump and his cronies for sure engaged in improper conduct. There's no question about that.
I get it now.
There's no question about that. But why would you take all that hard work and throw it away? For what? For what? That's what makes sense. Like, why would you do that?
Okay, for real. You know that she did, I don't want to use the word solicit, but she did approach other, no, see, that's not the right word. See, sorry. No, for real. She did present this opportunity to other attorneys. We already know, even former Governor Roy Barnes had testified and all of that good stuff. And one other person, I don't know why he's never mentioned, she did legit ask other people who did have the experience, who she thought would be the best candidates to take on this case. And of course, they didn't want to touch it. No one wants to upend their lives.
Right.
So in their defense, nobody else wanted to do it. They know, or they felt that they had a case that they wanted to bring before a jury, right? And if no special prosecutor wanted to take this on, what else was she supposed to do?
Not screw him. Like, don't suck him. Leave the man alone. Leave his penis alone. That's what she should have done. Like, don't be out there on your knees and doing all types of things. That's exactly what you should have done. Here's the thing. This was actually a good case. Out of all the cases that Donald Trump was indicted on following him trying to overthrow the election, this was a good case. And that's why I was upset with Fani throwing it all away. As far as Nathan Wade, sure, Nathan Wade has no prosecutorial experience. That's okay. But my problem again is, as a criminal defense attorney, he certainly should have known better, because that's what criminal defense attorneys do. Criminal defense attorneys will pursue any and every single benefit for their client. Here's the thing. If there's a really good case against you or against your client, and you know that you cannot win on the facts, because there's no way Trump was going to be able to win on the facts in this case, then you're going to attack other avenue. And in order to attack other avenue, you're going to be looking at the prosecutor, you're going to be looking at the investigators, you're going to look at any and every witness that they bring. You're going to attack their credibility. So they absolutely should have known better. For Fani, if she, I guess she has tunnel vision, then sure. But Nathan should have seen this coming, because this is what criminal defense lawyers do. There's no way they could have hid this or shoved it under a rug or whatever. It was going to come out regardless. And again, for Nathan Wade, my other disappointment with his his criminal defense abilities is this. And that's why I'm really excited. I'm very excited for this Luigi Mangione trial. Again, we don't know if there's going to be a trial, because from what they're reporting today is that the feds are probably going to try this case before New York does. But I'm excited to see Karen Freeman McNiffalo in action. The reason for that is because she used to work for Alvin Bragg's office. She used to, I don't want to say head, because Alvin Bragg will obviously be the head because he is the DA. But she had a pretty...
He's the Fani. He's the Fani in New York.
Right. But I think she was like a supervisor or something of a specific department. She has extensive prosecutorial experience. Why I'm excited about that is because if Karen is more than a typical prosecutor that has turned into a criminal defense attorney, instead of her actually defending the case, she's going to work from the angle of the prosecutor. So that's what I would have wanted to see from Nathan Wade in this case, because he has experience as a criminal defense attorney. It would have made sense for him to look at all the possible angles and loopholes that they could have been, that basically the defense would have been attacking them from. And the whole thing was just really messy. The whole thing was messy.
Very, very.
How are you going to be, you're in the midst of divorce proceedings, and your partner was representing you on this, and now you have a falling out with your partner. And again, we're going back to that. If you want a witness that is going to get things together for you, if you want them to testify in your favor, you're going to have to find somebody that's no longer on good terms with a person that you are, attacking or trying or whatever it is. So I just do not understand. I'm looking at I'm reading Real Things message where she says Trump only wanted you all to find 11,780 votes for him. That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
I also
Right,
don't see.
Jerome? What's the problem, Jerome? I
Right,
mean,
right.
that was not a hard ask.
Yeah,
I don't think that was difficult for y'all to
just
do
find
that.
the votes.
Just
Find the
find it.
votes. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah. I mean, that's like, hey, hey. It sounds like because what happened with Fani or whatever when they were saying that for her to bow down, she didn't have to bow down. She could have fought that. She bowed down, and
what do you mean?
they trying to say like on the back because she could have did something to make this difficult. If for like today when everything was done, they saying that she got a payoff.
Oh no, no.
I don't know. I don't know,
But you
bro.
know
All
what,
right,
Jerome?
we'll see in the future.
What people thought was also that it was brave initially, like, wow, she's really gonna
Yeah,
bring this to say no
yeah,
one's above the law. Like
right.
she said, you come down to Georgia committing a crime,
Yeah,
yeah, you're gonna have to deal with her. But
right,
it seemed to be brave. It was gonna be sacrifices that she would have to make to
Yeah.
bring this
right,
case, and people commended her for going all the way and not being afraid, seemingly, or not
right,
backing down.
right.
Yeah, but she brought the house down with her conduct. She engaged in
Look at her
behavior
face.
she engaged in behavior she had absolutely no business engaging in. And that's what I'm saying. If you want to
No,
if
but
you want
but it
listen,
was wrong though. She hit the lottery pick.
if she wanted to
Trump did that in her yard. That's like the lottery pick, but she probably did it the wrong way. I think if Nathan Wade thing was out, she probably would be still banging. The Nathan Wade thing messed it up right there. That killed her and made her
but
corrupt.
that is her own doing. She has
Yeah, I
nobody but
know.
herself to blame for
Yeah,
that. She has to be
yeah,
accountable for her actions.
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
Listen, Jerome. If
I'm listening.
right, I'm just gonna give a very simple example here. Okay, whenever I had clients, especially when I was a public defender, and I had clients that were hauled into court for any reason at all. And at the end of the day, let's say an arraignment, an order of protection or restraining order is issued, right? The order basically tells them, don't talk to this person, stay away from this person, don't do this, don't go to this place. I explain to them, even if the underlying charge, if you are acquitted on the underlying charge, or if the underlying charge is dismissed, if you violate this order of protection, we have no way out of this, and you're going to end up with a conviction. Okay? Some folks listen, other folks do not listen. There, Fani Willis had control in this case. She absolutely could have determined the outcome of this case. Again, I don't know what possessed her. I mean, maybe the man laid her down. Well, I don't know what. To me, I am baffled. I am baffled that she would have a case of this caliber and she'll decide to mess it up for a penis. To me, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that you'd have your office investigators, you'd pour resources into really working up this case for everything to just come crumbling down. That doesn't make sense to me. Again, if we look at any and every politician, even if we go back to the very beginning of to Trump's very first run as president, okay, because he was running, that's when they went to go dig up all of Stormy Daniels and the coach bus, and grabbing people by the piece and all these things. That is standard for any and every politician. They're going to come at you. Fani is the DA of Fulton County. If she has experience, she should have seen this coming. She should have seen this coming. I mean, even with what is this, the Nestor case that they have going on, a Nestor case or whatever, folks, a criminal defense attorney is going to challenge any and everything that they have at their disposal. Why? Because it's much easier to get the case either thrown out on a technicality or to, excuse me, even in the Weissel trial. That's why they kept jumping up at every chance. Let me grab some water. Hold on. Jerome, talk. Do something. Let me get this water. Hold on.
Jerome. I think he stepped away.
No, he is here. I don't know. I don't know what Jerome has going on. What did you want to say, real thing?
No, go ahead. Please finish.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
No,
sorry.
so what I was going to say is that the reason why the attorneys in the Weissel trial kept jumping up at every time asking for a mistrial is because a mistrial is much easier to get than having to go all the way through to trial. So if you can stop short of a conviction, then that's what you're going to go for.
But it's what explain the prejudice and non-prejudice.
What do you mean? Jerome, why do you keep disappearing, Jerome? I don't know. I will get Jerome back in here, but let me quickly go over the court's decision because I have about 4 minutes and then I need to go. So the Court of Appeals obviously handed out a decision, and the ruling is that Fani absolutely must be disqualified. I hear an echo. Okay, the most important, I wouldn't say the most important, but there's language in here. I'm just scrolling to the very end. Okay, so if we go to the very end, right, of this decision, the court says that in this case, the trial court, they're talking about Scott McAfee. The trial court expressly found that the district attorney had no conflict of interest and rejected the allegations of actual impropriety arising from her relationship with Nathan Wade. It rejected the notion that she received any material financial benefit from a hiring of Wade, that she hired him as part of a scheme to enrich herself, or that their financial arrangement had any impact on this case. It was certainly critical of her choices and chastised her for making them. I take no issue with that criticism. And if the trial court had chosen in its discretion to disqualify her in her office, that would be a different case. But that is not the remedy the trial court chose. And I believe our case law prohibits us from rejecting that remedy just because we don't like it or just because we might have gone further had we been the trial judge. And then they cite a case here, which is a 1988 case. It's State v. Evans, decision to disqualify prosecutor based on appearance of impropriety is within the discretion of the trial court, and the appellate court will not interfere, whereas here the court's discretion was not abused. And then it was overruled on other grounds. They go on to, cite other cases. In the case, I think this is Robinson, they say the ultimate determination of whether an attorney should be disqualified from representing a client in a judicial proceeding rests in the sound discretion of the trial court, blah, 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 blah. And then review under abuse of discretion standard recognizes that there is a range of possible conclusions the trial judge may reach, and we will affirm a trial court's decision, even though we would have gone the other way had it been our call. They cite more case law, and then they say abuse of discretion standard applies to trial courts' chosen remedy, a motion to disqualify, blah, 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 blah. And then they finalize this by saying every day in courtrooms all over the state, trial judges solemnly and diligently fulfill their constitutional obligations and perform a vital and indispensable public service when they convene hearings, listen to testimony, observe witnesses, make credibility determinations, resolve conflicts in the evidence, weigh the evidence, and exercise their discretion in countless ways. We should not lightly interfere with their work or weaken their discretion by imposing our will, because we do not like the results. Because I'm convinced that that is what the majority has done in this case, I respectfully dissent. So that is the dissent. I need to go back to the what is this? The majority. Hold on.
As you do that,
yeah,
I would like the record to reflect I agree with the dissent. That was an excellent explanation. And that appeals judge, he needs to go to the Supreme Court. Yep.
Yeah, but it's a process. It's a process to get there. And that's again my issue with Fani Willis. When you are in a state that because honestly, DA's offices are political, judges political. We may not like it. We may not, we would like to think that judges are neutral, but that is not always the case. A lot of courts make determinations or they make decisions based on not just political alignments, but even their beliefs, right? Think of me as a judge. Think of Jasmine and I as judges presiding over the same case. Obviously, we're going to have different rulings just because we have different opinions on even matters such as, I don't know, death penalty. And even with Brooklyn, even if Brooklyn was on a case and I was on the similar case regarding what is this, bail or whatever, Brooklyn would have a different ruling than I would, because again, I do believe in bail reform. But let me quickly find that language here. So the part that baffles me is really the fact that Fani thought she could get away with this. And even if she does appeal, she is not, I do not see her being successful, because again, the majority of the judges on the bench are Republican, and they're most likely going to align with Trump remaining. What is this? They're just probably going to go with the appeals court. But let me.
Well, she's already filed.
Okay.
She told me personally she's going to show you.
You're so funny. When did you become this funny, real thing? When did you become
I think
this
I'm
funny?
sleepy. It's time to go to sleep. So I must
yeah.
be
Let me find.
goofy.
There's another dissent here. I just want to go to the majority, but there was language. There was really damning language in here as far as Fani Willis is concerned, because the majority pretty much disagreed and said that no. This is a clear conflict. They're out here talking about, what is this? District Attorney and Wade testified that their expenditures were not meant as gifts and not designed to benefit the district attorney. Both testified that they would reimburse each other. They gave examples here. Much more important, the court finds, based largely on district attorney's testimony, that the evidence demonstrated that the financial gain flowing from her relationship with Wade was not blah, 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 blah. I need to find the actual, what is this? I'm going to have to mark this thing down because I am on my phone and I cannot see. Okay, so a real thing says this situation with Fani is not baffling. It's an example of, it's true. Human beings are frail, right? But given her position, I guess she was weak. She was weak at the knee.
I get what you're saying about it being baffling. Like, this is the big case. Like,
yeah.
Have controls and restraint and buckle up. Do what you got to do, because this is more important. He's going to be there when it's all over and y'all can go off into the sunset and have fun. I get that. I get what you're saying, but I do understand how that can be very hard to resist.
I know. I understand, right? I'm pretty sure it's been pretty obvious on this channel that I tend to be weak sometimes, and I understand all positions. I think maybe baffling is the wrong word, but I'm really disappointed in her decision here. I'm disappointed that this is how she chose to go about things, just because this was, listen, when I was preparing for the bar, here's what I tell myself. And okay, you guys know that I watch the WNBA and I love the Chicago Sky and I love LSU. But here's another thing about me. I love track and field. Come summer, I'm gonna be talking about Noah Lyles and everybody else. I really love track and field. In any event, so I watch a lot of track and field. I love track and field. Like, I'm the type that will just be watching random Olympic videos for the sake of it because it's entertaining to me, right? But what I was telling myself as I was preparing for the bar, I kept telling myself not to false start. Do not false start. Do not false start. And that, is code for a lot of things. And I've also had moments when I'd be preparing my clients for, testimonies, and I'll tell them, whatever it is you do, we've come this far, we've prepared, we have one shot, this is it. Do not false start, okay? So I am thinking about this case from that perspective. You have poured in so many resources into this one case. The folks, even though, as DA, you may not have been the one that has been in the trenches as far as the investigation of this case is concerned, but as the head, obviously, this is a case that a lot is riding on this case, and it's a case that your office is handling. And it's a case, Fani would not have had a case of this magnitude, right? This was a huge case. And to me, I just do not understand, knowing all of this, how is it that she could have easily make the decision to, suck Wade off and blow this whole thing up? And again, this is Gerald, why are you cracking up? And this is from the perspective of an attorney, because as an attorney, you're not just thinking about, as a trial attorney, you're not just thinking about your case from your angle, from your perspective. You have to be on the you have to be on the defense as much as you are on the attack. And without even getting too much into my deposition, it was not the type of people, when we handle cases, we're not handling clean slates. We're handling cases that are problematic, okay? And it is my job to identify the problem areas, okay? And when I identify the problem areas, I'm not going to hide the ball. I'm not going to, try and hide evidence. I hand over anything and everything that I have in my possession that relates to my client's case, but I do highlight what the problematic areas are, okay? And it's on the defense to figure out what those problematic areas are. In my case today, though, I don't know if they did not see what the problem area was or if they're not showing their hand, but I'm very aware of where this whole thing could blow up. And to me, I guess I'm probably, it's not that I'm being overly critical of Fani, but we are going to have to take a deeper dive into this as far as ethics are concerned, right? Because you are required to, as an attorney, whether you are defense, prosecutor, judge, whether you do civil, administrative law, even if you just have a license that is active and you don't use it, we do have a code of conduct. There's certain things certain things you cannot do. In this case, we're going to have to take a deeper dive in here, because I would really like to take a deeper dive into that Kayla Bumpus marriage again, because to me, that, I don't know, there's something there. So I've been trying to gather cases around the country of conduct that not just attorneys, but judges have engaged in as well. And I guess we're going to have to create some type of scale or spectrum to figure out whose conduct is more egregious. And here's the thing: for attorneys, though, in order to get disbarred, you really would have to do money for sure. Money will get you into trouble. Messing with client money, that for sure is going to get you into trouble. But apart from that, there are times when, you know, an attorney's conduct is so egregious that they would have to be disbarred. In this case, for Fani, disbarment, I don't think that is the remedy. But I still do not understand how she made this decision to blow up a case this big. It just doesn't make sense to me. It makes, I mean, but people do strange things. But it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. And even during my time as a prosecutor and a public defender, I've had cases before me, and I'm like, I don't know what you were thinking, but you probably should not have been doing this. And this Fani Willis case is one of those. I just, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like, again, if she wanted to blow the guy, but don't blow the guy, hire the guy, vacation with the guy, especially a man that is going through a divorce proceeding. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? It makes no
He
sense.
thinking like, hey.
What?
Jerome, he
I
loves to
know.
hear you talk about the sexual acts and positions and
No, really, it makes no sense. I know she said she did 50 big or whatever, but it's baffling. And that's what I've said. What I've seen out of Fulton County in the last 2 years or 18 months, I have not seen anywhere else, and I hope I don't ever see this time. I mean, it's probably going to repeat itself, but I just hope I don't see this mess again. And it's not even Fulton County. If we're going back to attorneys smuggling drugs into court for clients, I'm like, what is this? It makes no sense. The place makes no sense. So I don't know. That's enough ranting for now. And I was gonna address Real Thing, because Real Thing, you said that, you know, other folks were had concerns about taking this on as what is this, as a special counsel, right?
yes, yes.
So I'll push that envelope even further, right? I am then inclined to believe that what's his name again? Nathan Wade probably felt compelled to take on this case despite his concerns because of his relationship with Fani. And if that's the case, then it was improper for him to, you know, take this thing on. Because here's the thing, I'd like to believe that most of us have been in relationships, right? And when you're in relationships, you kind of go to bed for folks that you are screwing when you otherwise would not have done that. So yeah, and that's the thing with this whole Fani thing. I don't know. It's I would like to know, though. I would like to eventually, as time goes on, I'd like to see what the Midas Touch Network has to say about this, because they are the one channel during this time when all of this was ongoing. They were pretty much in Fani's corner, right? I mean, they don't like Trump out there.
I would like to know.
What's that?
I would like to know if Nathan Wade was always a player. Because, you know, like Tupac, he said, yo, you want to marry me? You go
Marlon
marry,
Wayans asked him
you
that.
already,
Oh,
you
yeah.
already know, you already
I
know you're
remember the
marrying a
dialogue.
player. You marrying a player, you know what I mean? If you
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
marry
yeah.
a player, that
Marlon
Well,
didn't say it exactly like that, but you
right.
know, his line of questioning was so crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, eventually when they do get married, I'd like to be a flower girl. So I'd like to.
When
I'd
it's
like
all
to
said
be
and
out there
done.
with them. Huh?
You're saying when it's all said and done, you want to
Yeah.
be in the wedding?
Yeah. They need to call me down there. I need front rows. I need front row action. I need to be in there. I need to be in there. Okay, so Ridge News says he wanted to know the difference between with and without prejudice. So with prejudice means that the prosecution cannot retry. Okay, it's done. It's done. You don't get them.
Oh, so you answered my question.
Yeah, I just read. I read Ridge News. Is a text, is a chat, is a message.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sapphire Ridge.
Yeah.
She because she figured out she figured what I was talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's been a long day, Jerome. It's been a long day. Yeah, so that's what it means. With prejudice, you don't get a second bite at the apple. Without, you can certainly bring it again and again and again. And there's a really good case out of Texas. Again, I don't know much about football, but his last name is Armstrong. From my understanding, his father used to be an NFL player, if I'm not mistaken. But this kid was accused of murking his parents while they were asleep. I believe they lived in Katy, Texas, or one of the surrounding areas. So that's what he was charged with. The first trial, it was a hung jury, and that's typically what happens when it's a hung jury. The charges will be dismissed without prejudice. So that allows the prosecution to bring the charges again. And then the second time, he was found guilty. So yeah, that's how that ended. And Karen Reed, those charges were discharged without prejudice. So the prosecution gets a second bite at the apple. And yeah, and in this case, because even remember when what's her name? It starts with a W. Wither. The attorney in the Weissel trial that made the motion.
Westmoreland.
There we go.
Mhm.
There we go. So when Westmoreland made a motion for a mistrial, the judge pretty much told her that I can grant a mistrial in this case, but it is going to be that's before she actually made the determination. But she said, do you want it with or without prejudice? Right? Because the judge Whitaker was already showing that it won't be with prejudice, because with prejudice will mean that you guys don't get, the prosecution does not get to try this again, but it was without prejudice. So they'd have a second bite at the apple, and it happens.
And go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm done.
No, I know we have to go. I know you have to go. Did you agree with that decision after all those errors and
Yeah, it's a high standard.
It's a high standard. Okay.
It's really it's a high standard. It's a high standard. It's
okay. Everybody brings up what's that man's name? Oh,
a lot of people. What did he do?
Is it New Mexico? New Mexico.
Oh,
The actor. I see his face, Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, Baldwin. There we go.
Everybody brings that up. One Brady violation.
Yeah.
Done with prejudice.
I mean, Brady is really different though, right? Because, and again, it really depends on the judges. And that's where we go back to that argument whether judges make the law or they just follow the law, right? But a lot of what we see in courtrooms depend on the judge, because with a different judge, you can have a completely different outcome. A completely different outcome. Because even during my time as a prosecutor, not a prosecutor, I'm sorry, as a public defender, there are certain judges that I knew, because one of my judges, he used to be a criminal defense attorney. So, he was pretty right-leaning. There were certain things, there were certain charges I wouldn't take to him, right? If it came to a trial, there were just certain charges I know I'm going to have to go jury, because if I go bench, this guy's probably getting convicted. And then there were a lot of charges I knew that if I went bench, I knew that my client was going to walk out of obviously I wouldn't tell the client that you're going to go free. I never do that. But I was pretty certain that he would be able to buy into my argument.
Do you pick your judges?
the case is usually assigned to a judge. Does that make sense? Jerome's gone again. So
That's some bullshit.
I think sometimes they may not always be clear about the cases you're talking about when you were a prosecutor versus when you were a defense attorney.
Okay.
You know,
What do you?
like
Yeah.
as a prosecutor, you may not, I don't know, did you have the authority to pick your cases? Probably not, right?
No, because they just came in, and
Yeah, they
even
just
with
came in.
yeah,
Yeah.
even as a public defender, you don't as a public defender, I did not get to. Why do we have two Jeromes on here? But as a public defender, I did not get to choose my cases. They were just it's different though, because I'm thinking of all three offices that I worked in. In the one office, the one office, the way that it worked was the cases would be assigned to the public defender's office, and they would just rotate them. By they I mean the legal assistants and the folks that actually handle the paperwork. They would just look at the caseload, which attorney needs cases and the like. And then there was one of the other courtrooms I was in. I managed two courtrooms by myself. So I was the assigned public defender to those courtrooms. So whatever case came to that specific courtroom was mine. Even though that was the case, there were two judges assigned to the courtroom. So the clerks, they would decide which judge would take which case. But regardless, I was still the public defender. And as a prosecutor, I didn't get to choose. They rotated the judges a lot. So it was just, it depended on the draw. I was just before a judge, and that was it. So yeah, I did not get to pick. But once the case is assigned to a specific judge and I knew it was going to trial, then I decide what I'm going to do. You decide if it's bench or trial. And I mean, because a lot of the way I was able to figure out some of the judges, it's just based on the conversations that you have in and out of court.
Right.
Because one of the judges, this was a casual conversation. It's in the courtroom, but court was not in session. And he had mentioned something along the lines of, if somebody is arrested or they're before him, they're on trial for what is this, a speeding, right? Let's say he said something along the lines of, if the speed limit is 40 miles per hour and they were driving 41 miles per hour, he's going to convict. So that's how I knew that he was a by the book type of judge. That means that if the law tells him to do XYZ, that's exactly what he was going to do. And that's how I'm able to basically, right, that's how I could strategize when it came to cases. If I wanted to make a an emotional appeal, then I know that's not the right judge for the case, and I know that I'm going to have to go jury on that one. But if the evidence, if I had enough case law on my side and I was going to make a legal argument, then I know that I'd want to go a bench trial, because he would be able to buy into my argument. So does that answer the question?
For the judges?
Yeah.
Nah, because I had some cases out of state, and I had lawyers, and they be like, they'll delay it to get in front of the judge. Like how you're talking, I know you have your favorite judges to be in front of.
Yeah.
You have your favorite judges. And as long as you can delay it, as long as you can, to get in front of that judge that likes you and it's fair, I've been through that. So that's why I asked that question.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's the procedure. So tomorrow's Friday. We're going to be a hot mess in here tomorrow. And yeah, let me see. So tomorrow we're going to go over that decision, probably more Fani Willis. There's a part on Star's video that I wanted to focus on, though. I'm going to have to find the timestamp. So I do have. Yeah, I'm
Don't
gonna have
forget
it.
to play Judge Judy. I still don't know what you wanted to show.
Oh,
No,
I
Judge
forgot
Judy.
about Judge
Right.
Judy. I
No, Judge
forgot
Judy.
about that. I was wondering what the fuck y'all. I mean, what the heck y'all talking about, Judge Judy? Yeah,
No,
let's
Judge
go.
Judy.
What are y'all talking about?
No,
I'm,
Judge
I'm
Judy just
curious.
said some really crazy things. So, so that's. I wanted to bring that in as it applies to Shannon and Kayla. But what I'm gonna do is, I think let's reserve that for. I don't know. Are you guys working next week?
I'm
Jerome.
done. I'm done next week.
Oh,
Like I
right.
said,
You're not here. Yeah. Real thing. Are you working next week?
I'm always working. I'll be here
Oh.
though.
Okay. No, I was just trying to figure out the right time to bring that in. Let me think about it. When do I want to discuss that? Let me think. It might be a
why?
pre-recorded video. Huh?
What are you trying?
Jerome, oh my goodness. Jerome, what do you use for Wi-Fi? Jerome, are you still there? Okay.
iPhone. I got
What's
an
that?
iPhone. I got an iPhone and it times out.
Oh, okay.
Y'all
What were you
gotta tell
saying?
me how that works. When my screen when it goes, it locks me out. I got an iPhone. Somebody gotta tell me how to do that. So as long it makes me lock out. When it goes blank, I gotta
Oh
revive.
yes. So I've heard about that. You have to change your display timer.
Oh.
All right.
So you have it set to dim out like probably in 3 minutes maybe.
Yeah, probably the
Yeah.
lowest. Probably the lowest
The
because I'm the
lowest,
type.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm the type to take care of your car. You know what I mean? Look. I take care of everything. I don't want nothing to stress out.
We have a lot of tech advice here on Sustained Overruled.
Y'all are cool. You just
Yeah,
gotta get
yeah.
your timing right. Gotta get your timing right.
Yeah. All right. So tomorrow, you guys know it's Friday, so I'm doing my laundry, right? So let's see. Let's start. I think tomorrow we can start around 9:30, maybe 10. I'll just schedule it in advance. So yeah, we'll do that. Let's do 9. Let's do 9. Yeah. Tomorrow we'll do 9 p.m. and we've obviously hopped around a lot of topics, right? But I still have my little list. Because we obviously still have to go over Farley, the remaining 4. We got sidetracked because a lot has happened. I think that's when it came out that Yak was denied bond or whatever, and yeah, we still have a whole bunch to get into. Anyways, you guys took
Can I
notes.
say something? Can I have
What?
my last right now?
Yeah, do your closing.
My closing right now.
Okay.
I say that we need to get ahead of the game.
All right.
And Real Thing, you, Brooklyn, and all of us. I'm not gonna say everybody, but I think that you should do it to where you can analyze every case of actually just being like just law and real talk. You know what I'm saying?
Jerome, change the settings. Like,
Jerome, are you saying right now we don't talk about the law? Isn't that what
I
we've been doing?
know, but I would say that we should I see people on Facebook and they seem like they trying to figure out what the hell they're gonna do. I think it's over. Well, we don't
Right.
need to talk about it anymore.
Right.
Why are you talking about it?
And I mean, that's why I said you guys should let me know which cases you're interested in. Obviously, I do have cases that I plan on following, but it makes sense to follow a case from the very beginning as opposed to just jumping around. Otherwise, we don't have a good grasp of what exactly is going on. So, all right.
Well, we know that you're looking forward to Luigi, so that's
Yeah.
probably going to be the biggest focus.
That's going to take a while, though.
Do 2 cases at one time.
I can do that, but Luigi's gonna take a while. They're not. There's no way they're gonna have a trial within the next 12 months. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, impossible.
Is Jackie Johnson starting soon? Because I told you that's the one that I'm really interested in. Only
Let's take a look. No, that's January. That's January. I'm
So
interested
it's
in that
coming.
one. I'm interested in that one. So we're gonna have to do a background, a video, just to bring everybody up to speed.
Right.
So for that one, I think let me record the background. I'm gonna record the background information.
Hey,
this week.
SO, can I say one last thing?
Sure.
You would be a great one too,
What?
because you would. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
When
Oh my goodness, Jerome.
you can't hear me,
No,
you can't hear
change the settings.
me. You can't hear me. Can you?
I
hear
can
me?
hear you now.
All right, but being that you daily, right? But before you go into your topic, you can go through the daily news of what's going on that day because you do it every day. So it's
Yeah, I
like
thought about that. That's true. I thought about that.
you should start off with the daily news and then get into that. That'd be a good setup
I like the way
until
Jerome talks. I like his cadence. Go ahead. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
you start off with the daily news, and then by the time everybody come in, then you get into the sauce and the labs and all of that stuff. But you'll be on point for what's going on for the
By
day.
daily news, do you mean crime news? Because that's really what...
Everything
You want me to
daily.
tell you about the weather?
Yes. Hey, yo, you just read my mind just now. I was just about to say that. You just read my mind. I was like, I don't care if it's the weather. Hey, I'm just saying,
Jerome is something
it's
else.
daily news.
Jerome is something else. We'll see. We'll see. I can do the crime stuff. I don't know that I can, really get into the news like that. But
Yeah, you could be like, yo, if y'all didn't know, it's gonna be a tornado going over there. It's gonna be I'm just saying. That's just jokes, but you're
You're funny. You're funny. Real thing closing.
Okay, my closing today is shout out to my co-counsel,
All right.
Mr. Jerome Street.
All right.
Thank you for holding it down tonight.
All right.
Everyone in the chat, shout out to the replay viewers.
All right.
And this is it. When you were talking about your experience holding 2 courtrooms down, right? I have a proposal.
All right.
You should be Judge McBurney's next assigned public defender to his courtroom, only his courtroom in Fulton County, because Fulton County needs a lawyer, a public servant, public defender such as you.
Right. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Real thing. I consider moving to Georgia. But after this mess,
And yes, you'll be in the South, close to your man.
You're so funny.
So that's
I know
it.
what you're saying.
That's the real winning, compelling argument
I
to
know
get
what
you
you're
down
saying.
there.
I know what you're saying, but I don't know. We'll see. I might change my mind. But for right now, I don't like what I'm saying about Fulton County. And what I mean by that
it doesn't have to be Fulton County. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, no. The thing is, when you are a parent and you're parenting, you have to make decisions just not for yourself, but for your children and your pets, right? So what I always consider is, here's the thing. A lot of folks like to believe that their kids will never end up in legal trouble, okay? And I mean, for most folks, sure, it doesn't happen. But in the unfortunate event that your kid ends up in legal trouble, the last place I'd want that to be is Georgia. So, I don't know. We'll see. But I'll think about it though. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. I don't know. The strangers. I don't know. I don't know. We'll. Yeah.
But you haven't completely said no. I like it.
That's funny.
Me too. Me too.
Because
Me too.
it was a consideration. It's a consideration. It's a consideration. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll
Good
see. I
people
just.
love good people.
What's that?
Good people love good people.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Jerome, the
we
philosopher.
all deserve to be happy when
Yeah.
we're good.
But I
We
mean, I
we sacrificed a lot to be
yeah.
good.
But it would be an absolute pleasure and honor to serve some folks out in Fulton County or anywhere in the South. I just it's worth considering. Let me think about it. Let me think about it. Let me sleep on it. I'll sleep on it. I don't know how much. Yeah, I'll think about it. I shall think about it. So
Okay.
thank you.
Because that's what's needed, right?
Yeah.
That's really
No,
what's
that's
needed.
true. That's true. I mean, I am, as I've said, I am a socialist. I'm a socialist. Let me think about it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll think about it. All right, folks. My closing. Big shout out to Real Thing. Big shout out to Jerome. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to
Salute.
everybody that popped in here. Shout out to the replay crew. 50 big. Shout out to Old Bag. Okay.
Shout
And
out.
yeah, let's see. We'll resume tomorrow. Let's do 9 p.m. Eastern time. 9 p.m. Eastern time. And again, for folks that if you do have specific what is this? Specific videos, not videos, cases that you are interested in, certainly let me know. Put them in the chat or send me an email. I want a real lawyer at gmail.com. The reason why I'm here past midnight is because it's Friday. When my baby gets on the bus, I get to sleep an extra hour. And tomorrow I don't get to work the whole day. We have a what is this? An off? It's supposed to be an office party. It's like 4 women. So I mean, 4 women can't party though. So yeah, we have an office party tomorrow. So we'll be, bienvenido. I have no complaints. No complaints.
That's nice. That's nice. A nice way to
Word.
end the week after your
Word.
I
big
know.
deposition and
Yeah.
all that you had to do. This was an eventful week.
I know.
Birthday
Lot.
celebrations,
I
doing
know.
50 big.
I know. A lot. A lot has been going on, but during our little office celebration, we're definitely gonna do it 50 big, no question. No question about that. All right, folks. It was lovely chatting as always. I love the conversation. I love the questions that you guys post. And then, as Real Thing said, tomorrow, it's really today for me, but 9 p.m. Eastern time. All right, I am ending the stream.
Bienvenido.